I'm a setting sun, but I'll never run. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. I'm a dead man walking. Kill till I die. Hell's in my door. My door. Yeah. I'll take it into the night and kill till I die.
It's cold breath reminds me the shadow that death will find me. I'm a dead man before I die.
I'll take every soul I can into the night and kill till I die.
Welcome back. It is finally time to welcome everyone back to America's PUBG with ESL Masters Phase number 2. It's been a long break, but our teams are ready to clock back in and get back on the grind for those PGC points and a nice little chunk of change to go along with it. A lot going on here right now, but Yahoo keeping their north sides open right now. I think they realize, oh, there you go. Don't pick that sharp. And that's gonna be the go signal. Got to push it in there. Shimboy immediately gonna follow this up with a grenade. Did they pull enough? Did they pull far enough away from the window? I'm not sure. Okay,
they closed the door.
There it is. Yep.
He knows that Alo's probably playing further back.
Oh!
And that's the knock. That's what they needed.
Shrimzy stays alive just long enough to get the knock on Alo. Will get the flush as well, but Tig has gone down. Mime
do they see
found
Mime?
himself a bush. I don't know if
I don't think they saw him.
They were pinned.
Oh,
the shots come through from Mime, but it doesn't land. Luke will take a few shots, does spot him out. We'll get him low. Another one will do it. There it is. Luminosity. The boys in blue will win the first round. H-Wing gonna go down now. And now
this is huge for Shinboy. This is so huge.
This is so huge. That's it. Again. Sonics gets pinched. 17 kills for Yahoo. Shinboy, the last 1v2. One alive. As oh, there you go. Mine's gonna find another one. Is he gonna 1v4 this team?
You already know he is.
You already. The script is written. The script is written, Maji.
Oh my goodness.
There,
no way, bro. No way. He does it twice.
Keenan, though, does get that headshot on Back Monster. One down. Can they get the other three? Keenan spots another one. Bing, bang, boom. 3 kills. Can they get the last one? They will. Chicken dinner for them as they take the first match here of the day. Safety there. Make sure he doesn't get taken out with the car explosion. Zealot, though, did it. He found Snakers, who was playing that angle there for United, and that's a big opening, turning things back in the favor for TMG. It's a 3v2. There's still an opportunity for Tokyo.
Yeah, a lot of utility there for Zealot. So the frag grenades at the ready. He's in good range right now. He's waited on them as long as you would hope for it. Oh, sends the vehicle right into United's way. At the very least, that removes a potential piece of cover. And another good frag comes out. It's a 2 versus 2, and the spray makes it a 2 versus 1.
There you go. I mean, everybody in United was just so close together. Not only did they get one knock with that frag, but they were able to do quite a bit of damage. Flood stuck behind a tree. The blue zone closing in on him. United was looking to win this, but right now, Tokyo is going to find that final kill and takes home the chicken dinner.
10 kills off of the back of that.
I'm going to say it, Cameron.
Yeah?
You jinxed it.
Listen, I was hoping we would just glide right past that one.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome back. It's time for day 3 of the ESL PUBG Masters Phase 2 North American Regional Qualifiers.
And now it's going to be on Luminosity to figure out what to do. Punta could have a sneaky answer.
Luminosity tries to make a play. Penta goes down. Nice play by Moody. The Spicy Fisher coming out hot as Luke 12 drops as well. Purdy trying to make a move, but they went for the drive around and the burn down. Icy Flex makes a play, but it's not enough. Luminosity is out. I thought for a second maybe Purdy holds, but Nootropic's coming, man.
They don't get a chance. Nootropic realizes who's fighting over here, and this is their opportunity. Cynics has an angle, and they're going to continue to harass this one out. Abstract also moving over here, wants to join in the party, but this is a party you want to be in, I don't think. It's just getting to be an absolute mess over here. Nootropic was trying to push into this, but now down to just Civ. It's still Spicy Fish that's demolishing everybody as they're doing little loop-de-loops in the air, doing spins, just dodging the bullets.
Alex, he sees him. He gets Purdy.
Oh my God. It's
the
happening.
Dream Breaker.
LG.
The Dream Crusher.
That means the fact that now T8 is 1 point ahead. Penta's trying to pick up another one. He's going to go down. Kickstart spots him out. So 66-64 Ascendance right on the cusp to be removed. A big section of the position that they're in is due to him surviving.
How are you back up against Abstract again?
I don't even know. It's like these guys are doing loops around each other. Arson, I think, chased after this and now doesn't want it, but that means the fact that he needs to be defended from his teammates, and they're all moving. Moody on the move as well as Icy Flex. He's going to pick that one up. He's got to figure out what he wants to do. He's surrounded by AB members. AB, you were close on this one, but you're starting to throw yourself into too hazardous of a position. They bump into each other, and that is a massive problem. AB, you needed the points, but this aggression is going to cost you.
He switched. The push is coming over. Moody. He's got the 3X. He does it. Moody the madman. Moody the snake. Moody the creep to the end. Gets the win with the 3X on top of the hill. Abstract is out.
74 points in 10th place right now. So LG, where do you go? Every single angle is held. Even if they try to get away from this, United might have some vision from their hillside position down below this. So now Luminosity, you've got to fight it out or sneak your way through this. Somehow encourage them to fight. But Wildcard's playing the north. Alo spots out Wildcard to the north, gets some damage in. It's gonna be IMM at range that sees what's going on, is harassing Wildcard as well. Luminosity in some trouble. They have to be careful of the throwables, but Sonics are content to wait. They know they can pounce on whatever's coming up. They're actually moving in back behind this. Alo has got to hear what's coming through. Shot's not gonna come out. He's gonna go down. It's gonna be Kickstart that spots him. Luke 12, the dream is dead. Luminosity is out.
Wow.
Qualifying teams all considered. Sonics up at number 1, but we've got our eyes drawn down to Bing Bang Boom, Spicy Fish, Short Circuit Gaming, and TAC 8 Coffees.
We're going to go over the Latin American qualifiers as well, Matt. I heard that Creche was close to not making it. It looks like they didn't get there. It's going to be Trogloditas, Fiumba, Synergy, Young Kings, 22 Esports, and Just Too Easy. The whole thing is about the road to PGC. How will we get there? Well, there's another big step starting next weekend as we come back for the grand finals with the best 16 teams that the Americas has to offer.
That is crazy. Mime is nuts.
Potential piece of cover, and another good frag comes out. It's a 2 versus 2, and the spray makes it a 2 versus 1.
Alo has got to hear what's coming through. Shot's not going to come out. He's going to go down. It's going to be Kickstart that spots him. Luke 12, the dream is dead.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching around the world. Welcome back. It is time for the ESL PUBG Masters America's Final. My name's Toffees. I am joined by Matchroom and the Cammy D as we kick off the festivities here. It's good to be back for some ESL action, Matchroom.
Oh, yeah, especially after how ridiculous last week was with the qualifiers. I mean, we just saw the highlights from them. There's a lot of teams that had expectations weren't met. That means the fact that this lobby is going to be nuts as we're bringing in Latin America, merging it in with North America, and the games are going to be killer.
Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to get this thing started. As Matt said, we have a lot, some interesting teams involved here, so let's just go on in.
Let's do it. Let's go in. I'm going to actually put you guys on the sideline for a second so we can just crush the meat and potatoes and get back into talking about these teams. 128 in 2 regions started this. They pushed all the way through till we came up with the Big 16. That's the 10 top teams from North America, the 6 teams from Latin America clashing here for the prizes. What are they? First, it starts out with the big money, $50,000 in the pool, 12.5K for first place, 500 for second, as well as some congratulations and a high five. What else are they playing for? This is what's probably the most important. PGC Qualification Points. As we get closer to PGC, those numbers get higher and even more important. 300 for first and 10 points for last could make a major difference. As you look at the PGC points earned by each team so far, it is going to come down at that cutoff point to a matter of 10 to probably 30 points. So every single get matters, and that is a very big deal. But who's battling it out? Let's take a look at the 16 teams that are fighting for your love, for your fandom, and for those PGC points in cash. This is them. I'm excited to see them take the field. But before we bring my team back in to talk about who we think is the best, who we think is going to dominate, I want to hear from these teams about who they think are the top 5 teams at this event.
Number 1 is TAC 8. Number 2 is Sonics. Number 3, I would say BBB. I would say Wildcards up there. I would put Dodge. Dodge is a talented roster. And it's cool to see them come together. Those are some good guys.
I haven't really been paying close attention to SA, so I wouldn't be 100% sure. I know Fiumba's very good, but in terms of NA, I would have said LG, but unfortunately they didn't qualify. Well, fortunately for us, because they are very good, but I would say probably us, United, Yahoo, Wildcard, and like Fiumba probably.
United, Sonics, Yahoo, BBB, and then I don't really know too much about the SA teams, but I'll say the best SA team is probably up there in the top 5.
Yeah, so the top 5 teams are definitely Sonics, us, Wildcard, Bing Bang Boom, and Yahoo. Those are definitely the top 5.
I think top 5 would be SQE or Yahoo, and then you could switch like TM, Dodge, Wildcard, BBB with any of those teams, and like make your own top 5. It could be any of those 7.
El top 5 de equipo para mí sería Sonics, Bing Bang Boom, Yahoo, United y nosotros.
Yo creo que el top 5 va a ser United campeón, Sonic segundo. El tercero va a estar complicado, puede ser Yahoo, porque es un equipo bastante bueno. El cuarto va a ser 22 Esports o nosotros, así que va a ser entre 4 o 5, 22 Esports y nosotros, sí o sí. Y Fiumba también lo agregaría ahí.
Well, you heard from the players. Now it's time to hear from the desk. My name's Toffees. I got Matt. I got Cameron here. We'll be breaking down the action all day today, and we'll be joined by Godspeed and Porosaurus on the cast in short order. Gentlemen, we got it out of the way. The housekeeping is done. We can start to break down teams, get a little bit more into them. I know, I'm excited. This is what I live for, man. I literally sit around for like 3 weeks and just like, when's the next one? When's the next one? I gotta watch more PUBG.
I know. And we had to have everything go over to you today, Toffee. So I just want to say thank you. You nailed the opening. You worked through all of it. But now, Cam, I guess it's on to us. We got to start doing the heavy lifting, let Toffees take a touch of a break. But, I mean, the guys, when the players themselves, I think they hit most of the usual suspects in what we're going to be talking about. That said, I think that the qualifiers did have a couple that kind of raised eyebrows for both of us. Is there, like, any that you're wanting to start off talking about?
I mean, there are a couple of different teams. I think TMG, Tokyo Manji Gaming, is one that comes to mind of that, not just a team that snuck in, but a team that actually made a really explosive performance to come here. Now, there's always going to be the question of, can they replicate that performance here in the grand finals now that there is the full points and money that these other top teams are going to be playing for? But there's certainly going to be a team to look out for.
I mean, 2v4 clutch against E United is amazing. I hope the fact that we see them get, I guess, a little bit more coordinated in their assaults, though, Toffees.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be great. We'll talk more about them. I'm especially excited about these young guns that they sort of brought on board because they have a lot of them. Another team who's got a big young gun that I know that you've been watching, Matt. You saw him at Nations Cup. You've been sort of tracking his development. It's Haven and 22. They've been awesome. Let's take a look back at some of their highlights and break them down.
I mean, Toffees, you nailed it. So much of PNC and the success that we saw for Brazil, who ended up in 3rd place, was based off of Haven. He found his rhythm, he found the way that he could succeed, and he's been carrying that over. When we look back on the Latin American side, he had some massive plays to get his team into a beautiful position, and I feel like so much of success that we're going to be seeing coming out of this is going to be a lot of what Haven's going to be able to put on in.
Yeah, overall, 22 as a team, while they are the highest Latin American team in the PGC points so far, they did have a bit of a ropey qualification series. They're not quite as explosive as Troglodytes or Yahoo. They're a lot more slow and steady, slow point gather. They're always going to be in the mix, and so I'm curious to see how this longer format is going to play to their strengths.
United, man, these guys had a phenomenal last day. 77 points. 3 chicken dinners back-to-back to close it out. We saw the fact that they had clutch capabilities. They were in positions that they shouldn't have won games from, made great pushes into it. The coordination and consistent late-game performances from these guys were phenomenal. But not just that, Kim. They were walking themselves across a ton of firefights, getting high kill counts.
Yeah, listen, they are still the Great Wall. They do still have that amazing turret defense set up in their playbook, but you cannot, as you say, discount their edge sweep playstyle. In fact, in that triple, the 3 wins in a row, the hat trick that we saw, 2 of those 3 wins did come from an edge push play. And then if you want to look at a single star player, it's got to be the man on your screen. It's got to be Kickstart. He has 50% more damage than 2nd place on his team. And a lot of it comes from AR, not the DMR, which means that it is going to be up close and personal. If you're in a straight head-to-head 4v4 fight, Kickstart is going to be the man to take down. However, I know that the rest of the team, they're not super happy with how the majority of their qualification went for them. So it's not going to be only Kickstart. The rest, I'm sure, are going to step it up. Even if they only give 10% more, it's going to be a really, really hard tournament for anyone else.
It is going to be an intense tournament for everyone. And you guys brought up United. What did you say? 77 points on one day of play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive comeback. And they did it in a pretty stacked league. Now, I want to pivot a little bit. We don't talk about Latin America as often as we could. They're interesting to me because 4 of their 6 teams came from their quote-unquote group of death. But, Matt, I thought the group of death meant it was going to be harder to qualify.
And it usually is, because we talk about it and a lot with this whole point sponges, eating a lot of points. And so that means the fact that for so many teams in this group to do well, sucks to suck for the other groups because you just were scavenging trying to find points because they were taking so many kills, so many wins. And I would say that Akreshe was kind of the victim of what was happening, all that, whenever we do have the usual suspects of the other 6 showing up inside this event.
Yeah, Creche was a shocking go out as nobody from Group C got through, but it's shocking for some get through all the way from open qualifiers. You kind of touched them a little bit, but I want to dig into these teams a little bit more. It's TMG, and I'm not talking about a sore jaw. These guys punched everyone else in the face getting here. Like, they are, like, explain, teach me, because I don't understand how they've been so dominant.
Listen, neither do I. They came from opens, they had a really, really solid run, and then in the regional playoffs, they did absolutely amazing showing there, right? But the thing is, we don't know if that's going to be consistent. Is this going to be a little honeymoon period? Is it a flash in the pan? We've been proven wrong before with other teams. What I really like about these guys, though, is that they aren't just like rats. They don't just stay on their edge and kill whoever comes across them unknowingly. They actually take aggressive control of locking down their segments of the map.
Well, we'll have to wait a little longer to see what TMG can do, but not much because we're getting into game number 1, and it is our casters, your casters, Porosaurus, and Godspeed with the call.
Thank you very much, Toffees. And yes, you thought you got away with your little wades into their comment. I caught that. I'm with you. But yeah, I'm Porosaurus. Joining me once again is Godspeed. We are getting ready to head into our first game. But Godspeed, I know you're excited. There's a million storylines we can talk about. What's top of mind for you right now?
Top of the story for me is just us casting together another day. You know what I'm saying? Just letting us do our thing. But yeah, to echo Matt, I'm really excited again. Once once we get the LATAM teams into the mix, man, it just becomes such a barrel of fun. You know, it's kind of a mess. There's a lot of hot drops sometimes. We get some weird rotation camps, and it's just it's super fun. Specifically, I'm actually looking at Synergy, and we were talking about it, Poro, and I didn't realize Silzen is now on this team, as well as a newcomer, Benja.
Benja. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what else is interesting is the departure of Capitan and Fisher is interesting because they actually got first in groups in last ESL Masters, phase 1, and they got third this time. So I'm interested to see how this team is now going to function against North American counterparts.
Well, we can see the plane has come through. Everybody's dropping. There were a couple of concerns about some potential hot drops, but it looks like those will not be going down here early. The only thing I can see that's maybe a little bit close, Short Circuit Gaming and Young Kings were scrapping over Ferry Pier, but it looks like they've separated themselves for now. It looks like Wildcard is also going to avoid Fiumba, at least for now, as we wait and see our circle will pop, and we'll go up hard north, and we will get that nice 50-50 circle to start things off.
I really am not a massive fan of this circle. I mean, it's just really difficult to play, especially if you get shifted on the wrong side of things, and then your rotations become quite difficult, to say the least. But I think another team that I really want to talk about in this lobby as we're watching Troglodytas is actually Tokyo Manji Gang. We watched them in the qualifiers together. They were, I mean, really ridiculous, the level of play that we saw from a brand new team, right? Because that's essentially what they are. Their macro was on point. Their gunfighting was impeccable, if I may say so. And they were playing for trades. I mean, in a way that we don't even see some of our veterans team do so. And so for me, I really want to see now how they do in this kind of stacked lobby with the LATAM teams.
Definitely be interesting to keep an eye on. As I was actually looking at this, Moody.
That's not the start that I was hoping for them. Why does this always happen, man? Oh, Bob and Weave.
Well, this was a super late drop here by Moody, and he actually hits the shots. And yes, it is that Moody. If you haven't been around, if you didn't get to watch the America's qualifiers phase, Moody now joining Spicy Fish along with Simply Matthias, Pat Caps, and Icy Flex. They barely made it in at the very end, but they are starting things off hot here with a nice little kill on a Colton.
That is the real Mahmoud, by the way. If you did not know,
real.
I mean, Moody's been. It's actually kind of a treat to see Moody back.
It's fun.
I've missed him. I'm sure
especially
others haven't.
With Pat Caps
because
too.
he's annoying to play against. But yeah, Moody and Pat's a pretty strong combo, right? And being as someone who played with Moody briefly, I can tell you that he's good. Moody's very good. He's been around for a while, and it's good to see his return. And especially on this roster, I also really like the addition of Simply Matt to this roster. I feel like he's been really great for them.
Yeah, we got a chance to sit down and talked with Simply Matthias last night about just the opportunity to get to play with some really, really experienced guys like Moody
Icy
and
Flex
Pat
as well.
And
Can't forget about
Icy,
him.
I mean, Icy stepping up in a huge way after a little bit of roster drama that happened right before the qualifiers there. But these guys put it together. The only issue that they have right now is that they just haven't had a whole lot of reps together as a squad. But the more they play, they've been grinding rank together. As we see Strimsy's favorite food up in the top there, just in case you were wondering. Again, this is just to briefly wrap up Spicy Fish, really excited to see them play, see what they can do. Obviously a good start there. We'll get that first kill, but Sonics, I think obviously has to be at the top of everybody's list when it comes to teams expected to win here, coming off that big PCS 6 win.
I mean, there's no surprise with that, right? Sonics have been pretty dominant, and they've been challenged, sure, by some teams, LG, who's notably missing here, but also United, Yahoo, but
notably.
They're pretty much the top dogs. And going back to Spicy Fish, I actually think this is like a trial by fire, right? This is the best time, or this is the best situation for them to figure out how they're going to fare against the top teams. And so far, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, things definitely could have gone better for them during the qualifiers, but you know what? They made it, and that's all that really counts. Nobody's going to remember what place you finished in the qualifiers, well, except us, of course. We'll constantly bring it up, but as long as you qualify for the finals, that's all that matters. And they got here, and now they are starting off there on that military island drop. They are taking their time with it here as we check in with Troglodytas, another one of those big names that we're kind of keeping an eye on with Troglodytas. They've got a little bit of a young banger for them with Bosa.
Bosa. Yeah, you love saying that. I mean, Trog has always been one of my favorite teams to watch from Latin America, right? They're incredibly aggressive. They like to fight. They're very good at fighting, and they generally are just an exciting team to watch. And even that split that they just had kind of on that dirt road over towards the first split, and the second split was over towards North George, rotating in. They are not afraid to kind of play as a duo, right? We see that a lot from Bing Bang Boom. Speaking of which, here they are. Bing Bang Boom loves their splits. Trog also love to split.
Yeah, Trog getting a little bit of an easy early game here as Tokyo Manji Gang has been looting up in South Georgia. They've basically taken over Luminosity's drops. So we were kind of keeping an eye on that Georgia Bowl situation with Troglodytes and Tokyo Manji Gang, but this time, obviously, TMG dropping down there in South of Military. So Troglodytes gets a free pass early on here as we check in with Sonics. They've taken over the Cube spot, and they've got Synergy just off to their west.
Having Sonics and Cube is incredibly dangerous because they're not one of those teams that's also just going to sit 4 in, right? They're going to spread out around to the hills, what we're seeing here. They may not even stay, but even if they leave 1 or 2, the information that Sonics get on the teams crossing that bridge is going to be very difficult for any of those teams to actually make something happen.
Absolutely, and getting Cube is kind of a byproduct of something that I've noticed Sonic's been doing a little bit more lately, which is just extremely fast looting phases. I mean, they are gone in 2 minutes.
There's another team that used to loot in Pachinki that also used to do that, and it was C9. I mean, I know I compare them quite a bit, and that's just because of some of the rotations, especially the loot spot being Pachinki and just how early they go, right? That was a very, like, signature C9 thing. And it worked. It obviously worked for that team, and seeing Sonics do this as well, incorporating into their own strategy, I mean, it's a dangerous combo, man.
Sometimes the blueprint is written, and the blueprint is good. So why try to fix what is working? As we check in, we can see E United. They are way off in the east. They're just kind of making their way just past Mansion. Can't see them with the picture-in-picture, but they are probably going to avoid most of this, go around on the north side, maybe hug that western side of Stalber. 22, meanwhile, also on their way up there. Spicy Fish after getting that kill. Oh, look at Tater from range here. T8. We got to give credits to T8, man. They have had a rough 2022. They have been so close to qualifying for every event, but they managed to fall just short in the group stages. But this time they managed to power through.
And it's even impressive that Hooligan is a student still grinding, but he's he's a connoisseur, if you will, of PUBG. And it's actually, T8 has had quite a few rosters over the last couple of years as well, and I'm hoping this is kind of the one that gets them into that big show, right? Because as you said, they're always so close, but they just can never pass that threshold. So this might be the event, man.
You got to give them credit too, because I mean, if you got a chance to watch the North American qualifiers going into the final game, Game 6, there were about 6 teams that were all within about 8 points of each other. It was so close, and Tactical 8 managed to get those 7 kills, going out a little bit early, but it was enough to push them into the top. But knowing everything that this team has come through and how short they have fallen so many times, the stress, the pressure that must have been on these guys going into that final game had to be humongous, and they managed to clutch it out, and that speaks volumes for their character, I would think.
I agree, and Palix has been a part of that roster, I feel like, for a while as well. A really good leader for that team. I do hope that they're able to find something here, but again, this lobby, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough lobby, man, especially, again, the LATAM teams coming in, some of the really strong as well. Fumbo, we talked about them. Young Kings as well have had some really great moments in the past. Kind of more of, I'd say, one of the more passive teams, but they can be explosive. We see them rotating far west on the North George Bridge. They're going to be coming in towards the north and just rotating in somewhat safely. It's kind of a Young Kings thing to do, right? Fumba, on the other hand, is kind of just doing what Fumba does. They're kind of in the thick of things, right? They're in between 4 different teams. They're actually in between pretty much everyone down on the Brazok Bridge, and this is where that split on the river becomes very dangerous. Because if that splits up north, all the teams in the south are going to collapse on Fumba.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on them. Holding the 2-2 for right now, but they do have 22 kind of breathing down their necks from the south side, and then you also have Spicy Fish, which is making their way in here. But Hazelton making those long-range shots. We got to see Matt and Cam, the desk, talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but man, the performance that Hazelton put in at PNC made him almost an international superstar overnight. Yeah.
Hazelton as well. Silzen, right, for Latin America, for Argentina. But, look at that shift.
Hard to the north.
Well, that's a northwest shift as well. A lot of teams going to be coming across the George Pool Bridge. Obviously, Q Bridge, but we still have some member of Sonics. I think it's Shrimsy plus one other. I'm not sure if they're actually going to stay at Cube. Most likely
they're already
consolidate.
On the move.
Yeah, with Mime. at plane, but overall, this is going to cause quite a bit of a jam on the east side. We see multiple teams now trying to get out from the southern side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to spell issues. Yeah, I can see it already.
Yeah, Sonic's fortunately quick on the trigger. They'll be able to get back together. They'll be about center circle, but as you mentioned, this eastern side is about to turn into just an absolute train wreck here. As Wildcard's already posted up, they're going to see Just Too Easy making the wrap right near them. A few jousting moves here between Just Too Easy and Yaho. This is a new Just Too Easy squad. Keep an eye on that kid Kalnix. He is absolutely goated. I mean, he has been doing some big things for that squad here, and already there's a knock onto Sparking as Yaho will pull in to the dip just off to the east of shooting range.
And this is a hell of a first circle, Poro, to start with, right? I mean, all these teams having to rotate quite extensively, which is not what they want. And Yaho is getting absolutely shredded. It's not by just Wildcard either. You see United as well as other teams Just Too Easy taking shots, just ripping into Yaho.
Bale Frost reading that situation really nicely. He knew that there was a guy. He knew Nikos was trying to get within grenade range. He had to hold him off, and in doing so has managed to keep his teammate Punich alive as Nikos will get flushed out. Wildcard will have to pull back as they're getting shot at from range by Troglodytes uphill.
And this is kind of the issue for Wildcard, right? They are in a good position. Yes, they're towards the center, somewhat in shooting range, and they have cover. But the problem is once the circle shifts, if it shifts away from this position, they're going to be stuck, right? Because shooting range is in a bowl. Literally everyone on the map right now can see them at 360 degrees, Poro. So getting out of this is going to be a problem. As you see, Waikikamuka already trying to make moves. He's getting shredded for it, and Shinboy with the aggression.
I really like this aggression from Yaho.
I do as well.
I mean, you see so many times a team will crash that dip and just kind of stay there and wait forever, but Yaho being proactive here, realizing the situation that they're in, and they are just grinding in amazing confidence, as you said, and they did definitely get a little bit lucky keeping all four up, or getting all four back up rather, as they continue this crash onto Wildcard. I think they realize the longer they wait, the longer this takes, the more trouble they're in.
Exactly.
So they are on the move here, but then Troglodytes, don't forget that they are uphill and they have free shots here down onto Shinboy.
And this is exactly what Yahoo wanted to avoid, right? They wanted to finish that fight as quickly as possible. As you said, try to take control of that so that the teams coming over and cresting them wouldn't be a factor. But unfortunately, they couldn't get the damage in. They started to get shot off by, I think that's Trog, up on the hill, as well as others.
United from the north side as well was the one that got that knock.
I like the idea, though. I do like that.
Absolutely a great idea to try to be proactive in that situation. But now they're going to be back to defending the dip as 22 tries to make the run across the wide open field. You can see the damage has come through already. They're going to be underneath E-United, and now E-United in a position where they have to kind of just wait. Are they going to still keep going? Look at these guys go.
This is a risk, right? I feel like every mile you travel in a vehicle is just more and more inclined to get shot up, but they're still alive. They made it past. That car is smoking. Vinny is on no life at all. Where are they going? Please stop. Just stop somewhere. Oh God.
This is the craziest car push across the dead center of the circle. Okay, Palix will be the one that finally takes Vinny out. They're going to hop out as the vehicle explodes. Hayes 10 goes down, and it is just free feeding for Young Kings. 22 eliminated.
Oh, man. I mean, I felt like they had kind of, won the lottery there when they at least got an E-United's hill, because they could get out, they could kind of fight, or at least, but they just kept pushing their luck. And again, that's the problem. The longer you travel, especially in a contested circle like this in a vehicle, the more chances you have of either losing one or two in rotation or just straight up getting destroyed, right? And that's unfortunately what happened.
Nothing looked good. I mean, and there was nothing really.
There was nothing for that,
As soon as they crossed over that hill where United was, there's no way they had an ability to scout any of that prior to making that rotation. So it was really just blind send and hope for the best. And unfortunately, the best just didn't fall through there. As we check in, we see Spicy Fish making their way out of Severny as the blue is encroaching on their backs. But United's now setting themselves up to do a little bit of gatekeeping here, along with Bang Bang Boom. They'll hug the coast, but they're going to lose one right off the bat. It's going to be Pat Caps going down to Snakers.
Sharpshot also taking some shots, doing so much damage. This north coast it's so locked down, right? You have BBB still in Severny trying to come in, and then you have United taking this this hill kind of not really compound, just a house with a shed, but this northern side is actually so good to hold, right? Because you have nothing but the ocean to your north. You don't really have to worry about too many teams coming on the cliffs here, as we see Spicy Fish, because most teams want to rotate off of it. And so United is just doing what they do best, turning off of an edge and taking full control. But Bing Bang Boom, Poro, they could cause some problems here for United.
That's what I was looking at. Roth was creeping up on their backs here. United, as you said, were very focused in on turning down Spicy Fish, but immediately they'll turn back and they'll find Keenan as Relo has now been traded out by Oldless. Kickstart will find the spot. Oh, nice shots from Kickstart. Gets sharp shot down. They'll follow it up with the grenades and see if they can maybe get this res onto Relo. So United pausing down a little bit on this push.
This is correct by both teams. This was the perfect time for BBB to make the push. They have no one to their east to kind of flank them. They can devote all their attention to United, but the same thing for EU, right? They don't have anyone really to their north, and they can focus and divert all their attention to BBB. And so this is just a straight up 4v4, but it does look like United is taking control of it. 3 up. Relo should be able to get res if they can just finish this fight and recover, but BBB is hanging on, and United does not want to push.
Smoke's laid down thick for Bing Bang Boom. They will get that res back on a sharp shot. United going for their res of their own. So the smoke wall putting a pause on things for now. And meanwhile, the circle will pop and it's going to pull away from shooting range more towards the north. T8 looking fantastic in a compound as we wait and see how this Bing Bang Boom United fight is going to play out. Looks like Bing Bang Boom just trying to make their way south and disengage.
I mean, they're going to run into multiple teams, and they know that, right? It's just they probably just don't want to take the fight with United now. The problem is they have to get in. United has to get, and Wildcard is just taking shots at BBB. They're kind of stuck. BBB is actually stuck now. They need to choose a fight. It's either north or south, because that east edge is rough.
Paralysis through analysis right now for Bing Bang Boom, as they might be overthinking it just a little bit about where they want to go. They'll step down for a little bit. Looks like Yaho has found a tenuous spot to play from at the moment. No, fortunately, Waikikamuka hasn't sent any grenades right over. It's Fiumba coming all the way from the southeast side. They're going to over-rotate as well. It looks like 22 right back in, and United will finish off.
Just ran over.
What is going on?
They just sent it into the dip, and they ran over half of the team, and they actually got the wipe for it. I didn't see how many were still left for United, but that was wild. Yaho still have a member alive. Wildcard now fighting for their lives on the east edge, and it is against United and the last member of Yaho, which is Shinboy.
A lot of smokes being laid down, trying to slow this thing out a little bit so they can at least get heals off. Waikikamuka somehow still alive here. I think he is very aware that United is down there, and he knows they're hurt. He's making that dangerous cross, and he's not going to make it. Snakers will defend Rillo, but he's not going to be able to get up in time, unfortunately, though. But look at this, 9 kills already for United. Snakers with 6.
6. That's crazy. And they still have 3 up, Poro. They still have 3 up, and they got control somehow of these dips, these waves just to the west of shooting range.
Still tenuous at best, as you said, though, as they are just lying prone and trying to avoid all the shots. Troglodytes creeping down from their south side. They have to worry about the snake of Greg shot from Wildcard and Shinboy from Yaho that are really, really close to them. Haven't really managed to send anything just yet. Meanwhile, Greg shot's going to spot out just too easy. Take a few shots, but it's not going to find any joy.
If United could get rid of Shinboy, right, who's just sitting in that shack, they actually could do a pretty decent split here and then kind of try to cover that split as well as look at the north, right? Palix is making his way, we see on the map, towards the north, towards a dip, trying to get a little split here and play an anchor position. But yeah, United just needs to get rid of the solos in Greg shot and Shinboy, then they can focus on Trog and potentially getting that split going.
No,
but it's going to be tough. I don't know if they can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be real rough. Right now, the South looks like it might be about to pop off, too, as Sonic's finally leaving their airplane crash position. They might run into a full 4-man squad of Dodge here as they all look to be focusing down Silzen. He's just trying to survive. Will TA get any luck with the circle shift again? No, they won't.
They will not, but I was going to say this is exactly what Sonics wants. They want to be able to fight this team on their edge, because once they clean up Dodge and Silzen, who's the last member, I believe, of Synergy, I mean, they have free reign on the rest of the circle, which is exactly what Sonics wants.
You can see Ethan and Gats, the duo, dynamic duo for
Quite
Dodge.
Dynamic. Yeah.
That is you will talk about the youth movement. Those two boys are something special here, and they've already found 2 knocks here. Shrimsy and Tig have gone down, or I'm sorry, Shrimsy and Mime, rather, as H-Twin and Singleton will try try to hold things off. They will get the res onto Mime as Dodge. It's still just Gats and Ethan pushing this. Finna will come over here and join while Hikerman watches from the north to make sure nobody comes for the third party. Sonic's just resetting here a little bit.
Resetting, but look at the aggression and look at the way that Dodge is fighting this. This is actually beautiful stuff. And again, you said it, Gats and Ethan have just been incredible for this roster, and that's not to discredit at all Finna or Hikerman, but those two have worked as a duo so well since the inception of this roster.
Looks like a good read on the timing there from Dodge as they realize that Sonics is back up to full strength, and they'll just pull away from this for the time being, worry more about the north. Meanwhile, Greg Shot makes his way out of the bunkers by shooting range. Let's see how long he can survive. He's still got Shinboy, the solo from Yahoo, and the duo from E United. Well, they've all got somewhere to go, unfortunately for them. Troglodyta's just too easy. Even T8 kind of minding everything that's going on over here.
Well, at the very least, Shinboy and Gregshot can be absolute thorns in the sides of E United and Trog, right, with this fight. What I do like, though, is that Trog is split in the 2-2, and that Kill Demo and the other member actually are in the safe zone. Right, they're in the circle and they are overlooking. So at the very least, if they can get rid of E United, that would be huge for Trog.
Oh, Greg Shot, there it is. Colin X will be the one that will find the knock and the flush onto Greg Shot. Meanwhile, while we were speaking, Dodge making short work of Short Circuit Gaming. They did take one knock, and it looks like they haven't managed to get him back up just yet. Sonics, meanwhile, they took offense to the push from Dodge early on, and they're going to keep pushing off to the north and see if they can maybe spot out some of these Dodge players, but the smoke line laid down thick.
It is laid down thick. I feel like Dodge maybe had I believe they had the advantage in their earlier fight, but now Sonics with the high ground still in circle. Dodge also still in circle, but they do have to worry now about the superior position from Sonics as we see this fight kind of go off. Now Shinboy's just going to get one, and he's going to go out.
Yeah, he'll take
as
that
he
point.
Did, but he'll take the point, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Trog, meanwhile, 4 up, now control of the East, have to go against Just Too Easy.
And it looks like Trog is just going to push right into him here. Esposa will immediately go down. Rusty Zero will get the trade on the Hardita. Go to Kid, and Kalnix will hold off from the sides here. Kalnix, nice spray down. Will pull back to the vehicle fort. See if they can use that as a little bit of hard cover here. Waiting for the inevitable push here from Troglodytas. We'll see Posa get flushed out. So Trog now down to 3. And the circle will pop. T8 has to move down south. Well, they might get involved in here at some point. Young Kings as well.
Oh, nice cleanup there from Trog. They did lose one, but that trade was beautiful, and the cleanup was even better. You love to see it. Again, this team loves to fight. We talked about it. They're very exciting. They're very efficient with their pushes, and that's just an example of it.
Very, very clean stuff from Troglodytas. We'll see if they can make anything happen from that east side. T8, meanwhile, had to get on the move. They will lose Palix. He gets knocked. They hop in the vehicles, try to push onto Young Kings. Looks like they managed to find Ekuz. They'll find Psycho as well. Tater will be the one that gets it. 8 kills now for T8.
8 kills, man. TAC 8, we talked about it. We said we hope they do something magical here at this event. And so far, starting off, that is exactly what I do. North side of the circle, they do have to now contest with Dodge as Sonics has set up now to just completely take over the rest of the zone. Look at the way Mime is split off on the south side as their anchor. He can easily watch Trog on the east, as well as overview everything. Sonics is dangerously close. He's taking full control here.
Yeah, Sonics definitely relying on their long-range engagement skills as they have
That's all they got to do.
Yeah, they haven't tried to push. They've not tried to overstep and push into Dodge at all. They've instead just watched from range, picked off what they can, and they will still have complete control over this south side of this circle. Looks like Dodge now back on the move. They found the knock onto Zenny from T8 as he is slowly bleeding out. The rest of T8 just hiding in the shack in the smoke cloud, trying to survive a little bit longer. Gats will make the spray, find Hooligan.
Come on,
There
nice.
it is.
Oh, Ethan, what's it on? Hello.
Look at this kid. Okay, Ethan picking him out and then flushing him down here. Is Ethan and Gats now the last 2 remaining members of Dodge. 9 kills already. Let's see if they can add to that score. This is a very hyped duo of young talent from Dodge, and they have been proving that they are worth the hype so far.
Absolutely, they are going to push that, but again, they're going to have to deal with Trog gatekeeping as well as, like you said, the last member of T8, which is going to be Tater. But don't forget, Sonics are just sitting just ugly on the south side with so much room.
They really are. I mean, they just have everything laid out in front of them. I mean, this feels like it should be a fairly standard Sonics win. Troglodytes, though, keeping Rusty Zera and Kill Demo, watching the north side. Necro has made his way down to the south. He could manage to sneak one away, but Sonics not leaving anything to chance here, moving in duos just in case a knock does come through.
I was just about to say that. Sonics is already playing for trades. I mean, they generally are very good at that, right? But yeah, playing in the duos and the split, but they're consolidating, right? They are not risking anything. This is so textbook from Sonics.
Ethan finding another one with that arm will take care of Tactical 8, but a nice performance from Tac 8 in game 1 here as they finish in the top 4 with a nice little stack of kills for themselves.
At least 8 or 9 kills, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sonics just kind of vibing on the top here. Only 2 kills, but you know, nothing really has been going on the south side at all. They've managed to hold off the push from Dodge, and that was really the only thing that they've had to deal with so far.
I would say look for Sonics to potentially see where their next opportunity to fight is and then push that, right? Because the last thing they want is to get sandwiched by these last 2 teams. I imagine they're keeping track of the kill feed. They know it's probably just 2 teams left. They just have to be a little wary about potentially getting pinched, but the way that they're moving, the way that they have their anchors set up in the back here, will take and win. It's going to be difficult.
Be careful. Hard peeking Dodge right now. Ethan has been getting some work done with that arm so far.
I mean, that arm, that arm can change the course of this end game.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see they're both pretty
busted
so
up
here.
That's
Ooh,
not, but Necro, he doesn't get it.
Just 1 shot shy. Tig with 1 HP.
Literally one.
Will survive the push from Necro, and Necro will have to pull back down towards the east, and looks like he's actually going to pull back down towards the rest of his teammates, as now we've officially entered the very late game here. Troglodytes, after spreading out a little bit wide there, seeing if they could pick something out, look like they're going to go ahead and regroup back together. Sonics, meanwhile, pushing as 3, as 4, really trying to see if they can finish off what's left of Dodge.
They're just using this high ground now and using the hill to their advantage. They know this is going to block off the angles from Trog, and so this gives them a pretty free fight onto the duo here. But again, that maybe 1 spray transfer could be everything. He doesn't get. Oh wait, no way! He almost got 2.
He almost gets the 2. He transfers his spray over. There it goes. Sonic will clean it up.
Here's Trog's chance. Yep.
Trying to make the push while Mime is down. They've actually got 2 downs now, as Kildemo will find Tickleton. 3v2 here. Troglodytes desperately trying to sprint over the top of the ridgeline to see if they can find any angle. The grenades are coming in. The spray and pray, but it's not going to find it. Shrimzy should get this res onto Mime in time.
Close, though.
And now Win has gone down. Necro has found him. Sonic's falling apart here. Shrimzy will find Kill Demo. Doesn't matter. Troglodytes with the 7-kill win in game number 1.
I said that was the win condition for Sonics, right? They just had to make sure they cleared out that fight quickly. But unfortunately for them, and very fortunately for Trog, Dodge was still able to do damage. They got a knock. They almost got 2 off Ethan's spray. And man, what a good way to start the finals, man. Whew.
That was a pretty exciting game there. That's a really exciting. I mean, look, these young gunners from LATAM that we've been talking about, I mean, they're the truth. They're the truth. I mean, you can see it in there in game number 1. You can see these guys are playing more aggressively. They're taking their destiny into their own hands. They want to push these fights late game once they realize that they've got a good read on the situation. Sonics, you know, they had to play the game that was in front of them there, and then the trades just a little bit didn't work in their favor that time, but would not be surprised to see Sonics end up in the late game once again.
Yeah, and it's always rough to clear out snakes, right? Especially a duo that are just prone there on the side of a hill. So you know, shout out to them for still getting as far as they did. But Trog did not have an easy path there at all. They had to go through the East, they had to go through E United and multiple teams, and they earned that one 100%.
Absolutely, and you got to give shout-outs to Tactical 8 and Dodge, collecting a nice little stack of kills for themselves as well. E United up there as well. We'll have to see what the leaderboard looks like when we come back. We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, I wanted to remind you guys that the new map is out, 8x8. It's Destin. Make sure you go and check it out. Destin features new utility items, new vehicles, and new weapons. Hop on with your squad to check out all the new diverse biomes, like the swamps or the skyscraper pack downtown Ripton. My favorite, personally, is the concert. Love the chicken. I'm a huge fan of the chicken, and a Ferris wheel. How can you go wrong? You can't go wrong with Ferris.
That's a nice Ferris. I have reservations about that city still, but yeah, Destin is an absolute blast, and I'm very glad we finally got a new map. It's a great new map as well.
Can't wait to get in there and play it some more. You guys go check it out. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, our analyst desk will break down everything we saw there in game number 1.
And just like that, game one is done. It felt fast, it felt instant, and it felt good to be back in the mix. My name's Toffees. I'm joined by Matrim and the Cammy D as we get back into the action. Cameron, game one was, I think Godspeed said earlier, barn burner, baby.
Yeah, we saw how many third parties, fourth parties, fifth parties, just a lot of chaos of teams trying to get into that more open area, that more spread area. In fact, I think this is probably one of the soonest, earliest times in a game that we've seen it go down to 4 teams alive. It was absolutely ridiculous, but Troglodytes coming out on top is, I think, absolutely amazing. We knew these guys could frag, and looking at the qualifiers, we knew that they had hit some next level of their fighting abilities, but to see them go up against the Sonics at the very, very end and take the win on game number 1, I'm pretty sure shocked most viewers.
You know, Matt, I know that I think it was Poro earlier talking about the newest ag to Troglodytas, Posa, and how good he is. What stuck out to you about Troglodytas that they did right? Like, what did you love about that?
Well, we've been seeing a lot of northern polls whenever we look at how the circles have been going, specifically in the ESL Masters so far. So research, whenever we see how they played the hillside, they understood where their firefights were, and they also understood the exact right moment to capitalize. We're going to probably see it in the highlights in just a second, but they realized the moment that they need to take that fight.
Speaking of which, you said it. He said it, Cameron. He said it. Now I'm going to say it.
I heard him.
Give us my highlights. Highlights.
Okay, guys. First things first, you guys remember when Chamillionaire said they see me rolling, they hating? He was talking about me watching 22 Esports because I don't know what this was. I'm sure they knew that they were in a really bad situation to be 4 deep in one single vehicle. Listen, it's not an awful spot to go to, but it was definitely a Hail Mary because United were posted up the Great Wall.
Which spot was not the awful spot to go to because they went to like 50 of them?
Fair enough, but either way, they did happen to drive through United, which is one of the hardest teams to sort of make it past when they're set up in their own little spread split.
Especially this game, too, yeah. I mean, this is one, we talk about clown cars and how they can be dangerous, and 22 gets away with these rotations a lot. But this time, I mean, look at how long this is and how many people they drive through. Finally, they lose one, and they're like, oh, this is where we stop in the middle of nowhere, and it's way too late at that point.
Yeah. Probably should have stopped at a hill or two or a shack or somewhere earlier.
I don't know. There was like 50 POIs before this, but see, United knows when to stop, but they stop right on top of Yahoo. I love this. United at 6 kills, gonna be, I believe, at 9 before we even get to the end of Circle 4. These guys came in with a goal, and that goal was to kill as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, because again, what I mentioned at the top, so much open space here, so much open ground. The teams like the Sonics or Dodge that were around them had all that line of sight down that barren hill. There really is nothing much to do, but now that all that space has been cleared out, Dodge had the opening to go push into Tactical 8, and Ethan just lit them up with that AWM.
This was a very strong showing from a lot of our teams, but I want to point out Troglodytes. Look at the line down on the mini-map. And how quickly they realized how this firefight's going. They are running a full speed. You see nades are out. They know that they need to get into this position, so this is good game knowledge in general. And they position up. They're going to get a shot up at the top of it. Tig's going to go down, and it's going to be the duo that follows up. Right as soon as Mime pops up in this position, we're going to see a quick firefight to finish it out. And it's all about Trog realizing and capitalizing quickly. There's a lot of times, I will say, in Latin America, we do see them play too passive, but you know Trog isn't a team like that. They're going to go ahead and try to take control of the game.
That's not Trog. And I do want to correct a statement that I made Troglodytes going head-to-head to the Sonics. That's not necessarily what happened. Dodge actually did some heavy damage to Sonics at the get-go, but Troglodytes, as you just mentioned, they sort of pounce on that opportunity to then take this fight, and this final spray down by Rusty, like the time to kill on both those bodies right in front of them, just amazing play.
It was hot, as is the standings at the end of the match. Troglodytes do get first because they got 7 whopping kills plus those 10 chicken points. But Dodge and Tactical 8, E United, I mean, Matt, teams came to kill.
Sonics, E United, not at the top of the leaderboard just yet. Dodge and TAC 8 showing up in firefights, man. Dodge and TAC 8 have been, let's be honest, also on the passive side. And now, after the ESL qualifiers, dude, it feels like they know how to firefight, and they are confident in their firefights. That's the name of the game this event so far, is just go after everyone around you.
Tactical 8 has been exciting. I've loved this evolution with a 50% roster shift as they moved into ESL. It's clearly working. We're going to do a little bit of a roster shift right now because Game 2 is getting started. Let's pivot. It's Poro and Godspeed.
Thank you very much, Toppies. And yeah, these guys aren't wasting any time, man.
Oh,
They
we're
are
in game,
getting
baby.
into it quickly and fast. And there you go, Godspeed, right off the bat. Where is the circle going? This is a hard Northwest, baby.
I like this, baby. We're already in game. Get to go. Sheesh. And look at the circle, though. Okay. Alrighty, then. So, yeah, Tokyo Manji Gang is really happy about where they're leading right now. But also, look at T8. Just fall. What is this Destruction Derby? Oh, I see. That was beautiful D, by the way. That's how you play D.
Really good D. Really, really good D there. Tater almost got him, too.
Oh, yeah.
You got
So we got a little distracted.
But yeah, no, I mean, look, hey, everywhere else, again, the hot drops that we were kind of looking for, the early game fighting that we were expecting to maybe see just because of just limited scrim time and, well, scrims being what they were this week, which is to say not great.
I caught some.
they weren't great. But yeah, so a lot of these teams looking like they're at least avoiding the early game here on Erangel. Now, a lot of it may have been just because of planes or whatever. What's your favorite hobby, Godspeed? Because I can tell you right now, Snaker's favorite hobby? Winning.
Snaker? Yeah, Snaker's
it's like Charlie Sheen. Is that meme even too old at this point?
I was gonna say that's a little.
Is it too dated?
I don't want to say it's dated, but I think it might be. I don't know. I'm not.
Man.
I don't want to call you dated. I think you're wonderful.
Come on, man.
You're leading me into places I don't know how to get out of. To be completely honest.
Well, speaking of scrims, I just wanted to take a quick moment here while we have a little bit of time to give a shout out to one of our fellow casters, Gibson. Popping the question, man. He is now engaged. So a big congratulations to Gibson, and make sure you go check out his channel if you do want to catch out some of these scrims or some of the open qualifiers. As a good lad there, and congratulations to him and his lovely bride-to-be as we see 22 getting a little bit close to TMG there.
And this is, man, the way that this circle is going to play out, specifically if it shifts south, which it most likely will, right? Whenever we see it kind of center on George, it'll either end somewhere between like Gatka Fields or just to the southwest of Everest. But Trog is going to have a really interesting hold on that north side. Meanwhile, Tokyo Manji Gang has actually decided to just pretty much set up towards like Hospital, which is, in my opinion, probably the better play for them, right? Like they had center of circle. Hospital is a great place to hold from. It can be difficult if you get multiple teams crashing. We've seen that before, but overall, again, I like what Tokyo Manji Gang is setting up for here.
Yeah, and they're not just kind of staying inside Hospital either. It looks like spreading
in
out.
The surrounding areas, yeah.
Yeah, taking over that hill just off to the south to make sure that they have vision on what's going on off to the south of the hill, I guess.
Dude, for a newer team, Mike, I got to be honest, like Tokyo Manji Gang's macro, and even just the way that they play these like kind of little splits or these early game positions, like you could not convince me that they were not a new team if I were just tuning into them now, right? Like they look like they've been together for a while, and we know that's not the case.
No,
it's just really impressive, man. Like I can't
really
get over this team.
Yeah, especially when you got and the fact that there's some youngsters on that team, and they don't play with a coach, so you know this is all them. So they're early game macro decision making has been pretty strong to say the least here early on. Here we'll see how it plays out through the finals. As checking back in with those Sonics. Just to the south of Everest here, they do have Troglodytes up on top of Everest, at least two of Troglodytes up there, but it looks like Sonic's more interested in pushing on foot here. Synergy looks like Danny has been sent away, but they've left two back at the compound. It's going to be Benja and Silzen. Oh boy, did they commit to this push?
I don't know if they commit, but Shrimzy is obviously checking these invisibles. They know something is up. They know that one member has already rotated off, so I think Shrimzy is trying to get information. Meanwhile, the other members of Sonics are actually sitting in northern Gatka, right, holding that compound, and this is pretty standard operating procedure, right, for Sonics. They get a good position, they get a split, they get as much intel as they can, and then they pull back and realize or decide what their next play is going to be.
Yeah, a lot of teams rotating right now. Some shots being fired every And now again, looks like just too easy, taking some long range fire from Troglodytes right here as they push just on the north side of Everest. They're actually making a push for this Silzen, this
oh, they're sending
compound. They are sending it. Benya already outside. He's going to get knocked down to 39 HP. Kalnix will get taken out. Silzen on the move here. Coda Kid has made his way inside the building. No, he hasn't. He's still operating just on the outside. Kalnix will get flushed out. The rest of Synergy are back in vehicles. They're crashing down on this. You can see them on the south side of your minimap, making that push as Silzen and Benya just try to hold the line for now.
But Sonics is going to hear this as well, and they have to be careful for a third party here situation. But it looks like, where are the other two members of Synergy going? They actually just drove completely off to the side.
They're taking the high ground.
But yeah, but Sonics are right behind them.
Benya!
Nice
Benya
shots.
with the two-piece. We'll save the day here. Can he get another one? It's down to just one. It's Coda Kid. Or no, I'm sorry, it's Nabel. Trying to work inside the bathroom. He will find Benya. 14 HP left. He'll get the flush. That's unfortunate as he will end up going down. But man, what a hold from Benya.
What a hold, but what a crash. That was one of the wildest crashes I've seen on these Invisibles in a while. The fact they just sent it over, and the fact that they actually were doing a good amount of damage. I mean, even though we lost just too easy, that was a hell of an attempt coming in from outside the circle.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, you wonder if the backup duo from Synergy had crashed the compound instead of trying to make that wrap around to the north side, if they would have maybe got there in time to save their fallen companion. But
4 for 1.
That's neither here nor there. You take
those.
Absolutely. You take 4 for 1 every day here as Olis and Bing Bang Boom have arrived at the top of Everest and killed Demo. Will put Olis on his back. Sharp shot. Now left to hold off any inevitable push here. The grenades coming in from Kill Demo won't find Oldless, so the flush has not come through just yet. There it is. Okay, the second one will do it as Sharp Shot now has to pull back away.
Again, losing one early is not necessarily the start that Bing Bang
SCG.
Boom wanted, but yeah, looking down at SCG, this is actually happening north of Quarry, right? They just got in this massive fight with Dodge, and Dodge is just cleaning up SCG. It's just Gats, actually. Gats fighting 2, Richie B and Neferhor. It's just down to Vox.
Dodge coming into this lobby with something to prove, and they are just fragging right off the bat here. Vox, the last player remaining for Short Circuit, will escape down to the south, but he's going to have to play this one out as a solo as Dodge continues to rack up those kill points. Meanwhile, the rest of Bing Bang Boom has joined Sharp Shot up at the top of Everest. Sharp Shot looting what's left of Oldless, as it looks like they're just going to be content with sharing the space for now. Wildcard, meanwhile, making their way on that western beach under pressure from 22.
Yeah, this is actually a good spot for them to get pressured into, right? Because they can go all the way to the north. Is actually what Greg is doing. He can sit on this island. There's no threat from them getting shot across from the north, Zarky side or North George, right? There's not going to be any teams there. And although Circle will most likely shift off this position and off water, they still have quite a bit of information and room to rotate, right? Like they have, this is a good kind of jump off point for Wildcard Gaming. I like this.
Oh, poor Cal. Nico sometimes yells at me. That's unfortunate. It's okay. It's okay, Cal.
I love Cal. I love Waikikamu Cal.
I mean, how can you not?
He's a great personality, great player, and I'm really glad he's playing here in the Americas.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a good get for North America and for the Americas in general. As we
and for this team, he's been great on this
for the team. Absolutely. As we check in on the map, Yahoo taking their sweet time, making their rotation. As they're finally leaving Military Island right now, but Spicy Fish also a little bit late on the rotate. They're getting close to T8 over there by Ruins.
I guarantee you though, Yahoo is fat. They probably have all the meds, all the loot.
I mean, it looks like they're stopping on the bridge to loot up meds and throwables. I mean, they are getting absolutely looted.
Oh, those boys are coming in thick. But look at this. So the shift actually, that was a really crazy shift for phase 1. I was not expecting it to immediately cut all that out.
Well, I mean, that's about best case scenario for all these teams, really, if we're looking at it from the team's point of view here. As we see Spicy Fish will pull away eventually from T8, looking to try to find somewhere to go. Sonic's on the move as well. Looks like they may be looking at the same location. Okay, Sonic's Shrimsy.
Spicy Fish is going to get this for free. That's crazy.
They get up there. Okay, yeah, Sonic's pulling back away once they hear the engines. So Spicy Fish coming in as late as they did, and they get this spot dead center circle. Really, really nicely done for them. Or, well, a little bit good luck for them as well. As now T8 trying to see if they can spot out Ice Creams. It looks like they may have seen Keenan. Keenan
is all alone.
Big spread here for BBB.
And we see them do these crazy splits, right? This is exactly what BBB is kind of known for. These guys are not afraid to do a 2-1-1, a 3-1, any sort of split, they'll do it. But Keenan has to be incredibly careful here because if he gets knocked, there is no support at all from the rest of his team as they are sitting up in Everest.
Fortunately for him, TAC 8 looks like Palix hurt enough at least to push him back towards ruin, so they'll just kind of bide their time hanging out towards the edge. United has made their way into the north side. Yahoo looks like they're finally coming in on this south side as Balefrost breaks the blue.
That looks pretty good, right? 3 nades, 4 smokes, 4 first aids, probably got a decent amount of boosts, I could imagine. And so, yeah, these boys are coming in geared. They didn't have to deal with any of the early game fighting, and they should be able to find a decent position here in the southeast.
And there you go, Vox biding his time. He is, oh yeah, he spotted up. There's no way he takes these shots, right?
No. I mean, there's no reason, unless he just really wants to die.
unless he really wants to get back to a conversation with the rest of the boys on what to do in game 3. I think he'll probably hold his trigger finger for now.
I mean, even if he gets the knock, which I have confidence Vox can hit those shots. Like he's not flushing that, right? Like that's just not going to happen.
So, I'll just take a look and
he knows he's not going to
drink my tasty beverage. And we'll wait. We'll wait to see what they do. All right. Well, there you go. United, as we said, came in from the north side. A lot of real estate for them. They have this entire north side, really. I mean, they've got crates. They've got everything. There's nobody else really up here except for, I guess, Fiumba is about the closest over towards the police station.
Yeah, the fact that United actually has this entire... They have crates. The fact that crates, as well as that split of the flat top is kind of crazy, but it also makes sense, right? Because we didn't really see many teams up to the north. I believe it was just Trog looting North George, and they decided to go for Everest, which is, not a bad play at all. You get a lot of information. It happens to be center circle. I personally used to really enjoy fighting on Everest. I know there are some teams and some players that don't, but I just really love the different elevations and different little crevices that you can be in. But Roth is going to get found out, and now it is just down to, I believe, that sharp shot on the mountain with him, but they are not going to be able to get him. Trog knows that there's a member down for BBB already because they knocked him earlier, and so they're going to push this. They're going to take control of Everest.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
And that shift is perfect for them.
And there you go. The shift does go hard to the north. And now Sharp Shot once again finding himself by himself on Everest.
Keenan's got to get out.
Yeah, Keenan's hopping in the car. I think he hears the shots from Tater, and he knows that there's somebody on his doorstep. He's going to go actually, I don't even think he saw him. He just took shots over in that general direction just to kind of back Sharp up here as everybody now on the move. 22 hopping over towards the western side of Everest. Are they actually going to try to push?
They're going to get up,
though?
I think they are. I think they're going to try to get to the base of the hill. There are some pockets and little areas that you can play in between, but the problem is you're still at the base of the mountain, right? And there's going to be other teams, specifically Trog, who are going to be able to look down and potentially rain to hell, and that's exactly what's happening here. Losing tires, taking damage, and also just kind of getting their armor ruined, right? Helmets getting shredded, vest getting shredded, a knock just straight up from Rusty.
There you go. Gets the last bullet in there as he will get pushed away eventually. Now 22 has already lost Dean Zera to Synergy on this rotation, so they would very much like to get that res back, get back up to 3 strong here as we check in with Young Kings. They're wrapping on this south side. Okay, Andy, you should be all right. Tokyo Manji gang still in a 2-2. They probably the ones that got screwed the most by this circle, to be honest.
No, I mean, for sure.
They had great position until they didn't.
Yeah, phase 1, we had talked about how good their positions were. Their split was good. But, yeah, this is the problem, not only for Tokyo Manjige, but Synergy as well. All these teams are going to be now rotating to the southwest side of the circle, and there is really not that much room for this many teams to come through. Fiumba now has moved into the crates as well, as we see United fully consolidate into that flat top. And so, yeah, this is a straight-up Everest circle, baby.
Goodbye, Vox. And now looks like TAC 8 maybe getting caught a little bit spread here. Hooligan holding the unpushable as Yahoo is going to push in. Poonage! Oh,
almost got it.
Gets him 2 HP, but Hooligan will get the win there. And now Balefrost is left to deal with what's left. Good grenade will be prepped. That should... Oh, okay. Just miss.
Right in front of his door, yep. But still, Palix in a decent position here to possibly get a knock on a Bale or someone else. I actually like this kind of weird split that T8 had going. Yahoo came in stalking late. Palix needs to get this knock. Oh, that was the opportunity they needed.
That would have been huge. The rest of T8 has a little bit of other problems here now as Dodge, you can see on your minimap, has pushed in as well.
Yep.
They will manage to find one off of them. Hooligan will slow things down with the smokes for right now, but Balefrost has been joined by Shinboy, and now Hooligan on fire will get spotted by Shinboy. That will be him going down, so T8 will lose one. Tater
this is what I was talking about here, though, this crunch, Poro.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we were expecting it right on that western side of Everest. Yep. 22 was the first one there, but TMG and Sonics right on top of each other. The shift will go down to the south. And Bing Bang Boom just left wondering what could have been.
This is so good for United, though. I mean, it's actually crazy how they can just sit in that position and then come up on the hill late. They're the last ones that are going to be on the edge. Man, you love it if you're United.
Well, in the pregame, you saw Colton from TMG saying how they were the best team in the lobby, and Sonics was second. Maybe Sonics showing them let the kids know what's going on here. Who's really first? Who's really second? Looks like it's going to be Sonics, boys, as they clean up Tokyo Manji.
That was super clean, and now Sonics know that there's another team on the other side that is going to be 22, and they're about to take this fight as well.
Slow down just a little bit here for Trog as they get the res on to kill Demo. They still have that high ground. They still have the ability to just shoot at everything around them. You can see Necro actually keeping track of Wildcard and Fiumba making their way in. 22 for their part. I don't think they've even pushed out of their little divot yet. They haven't gotten involved in anything. They didn't third party the Sonics Tokyo Manji Gang fight. They didn't do anything. So they're pretty comfy right there as we see the southeast starting to pop off here as well. Now Spicy Fish joining Dodge, T8, and Yahoo.
I do wish that 22 had maybe done something, though, because now they find themselves in a bowl and they stop to push out of that. But yeah, meanwhile, moving back over here to Spicy Fish, I mean, they have a really good spread on the south side.
Ooh.
We saw them take this earlier, and now they can pretty much take the spread how they want and take the fight generally safe from Everest Mountain onto Yahoo and T8. Again, really good stuff seeing from Spicy Fish, man. This team just kind of came together, and they're making it work.
What happened to Wildcard? All of a sudden, I see 3 dead Wildcard guys and a solo Pippa all by himself. Can he get Greg shot as well? He's going to open up with the M4. Gets him down to about half HP. The shot, flashbang coming through. One more is going to do it. It's going to be Necro. Oh my gosh, Greg is just surviving. Boy, what a grenade! But Greg will go down to Posa. As now 2 teams have been cleared up, and that actually opens things up a little bit for 22 now.
It does. They lost one, but that grenade landed in his mouth. That bounce was absolutely perfect. What a grenade, man. But Sonics actually have also taken some damage here. Tig is knocked. They've already lost Shrimsley, I believe, straight flushed. And so coming up on the side of this mountain, Trog have had a good hold, but they're still fighting back. Sonics with 5 kills and a bunch of utility making this push. Mime just delaying for my
yeah. I mean, he's doing a hell of a job of delaying to make sure that res could get through, and it does. So Sonic's back up to 3 strong, while Mime just solo holding Trogloditas back by himself. Now he does have support from the rest of his team.
What a knock!
Rusty, nice spray coming through, but keep an eye on Fiumba. They have an angle on this from range.
And again, Mime just being that critical member that just buys the Sonics that we talk about time and time again. He's always there just creating the space that plays. Even if he goes down, he opens up so much for this team. He's so vital. And another knock coming out on the side of Sonics with a nade from Huynh.
There's things that don't show up on the statistics. The amount of pressure that you can influence on another team by yourself. What a shot from Pig. How did he find the angle on a Posa? Posa left wondering that
but underneath, now 22.
Even finally coming up, 22 getting involved at the worst possible time. They'll find Mime. They'll get the knock and the flush. As now Trogloditas down to just Rusty Zera. Sonic's down to 2 as 22 finally getting involved at the exact right time.
Yep, worst possible time for the other teams, but perfect timing there for 22. I was worried maybe they were a little too passive on the bottom side of that mountain, but they knew exactly what they were doing. Beautiful stuff from 22, striking when the iron is hot, coming around to flank now. They're going to clean up Trog, and it's just Sonics now in a 2-on-2 against 22. It's a lot of twos.
A lot of twos. A lot of twos going on here. Now, let's throw in a Spicy Fish as well, as they have now arrived from the south side. Bing Bang Boom also creeping over here to see
King
if
of the
they
hill,
can maybe
baby.
get involved here. Nice spray down. Won't find the knock, but will find a lot of damage. Pat Cap's peeking up over the top. Just loses sight of Vinny as he goes for the heal. Gonna go try for the push. Oh, T8. They're getting involved as well. Tater from range.
But T8 now are actually going to have full shots onto both E United and Yahoo as they rotate in. And this has just become a madhouse, a barn burner, as I called it earlier. This is madness on top of Everest. There is nobody down at the bottom except for the base of E United and T8 who have yet to come in. Everyone else is on the top in the west side.
It's West versus East. E United just cleaned up Yahoo. Didn't take a single knock for it either. They are 4 strong. They've got T8 still down in the ice creams. They have not made their way over to the mountain just yet, while everything on this western side of Everest still waits to play itself out. Spicy Fish still have, I believe they still have 3 up. Yeah, they've only lost 1, Pat Caps. So Sonics will go down. Fiumba will be the one that finds them as they are working their way around trying to clean up.
Beautiful stuff. I mean, Fiumba with 5 kills, just the way they've been clearing this as well. Their rotations coming in. Bing Bang Boom's sharp shots. Gotta be careful. That, remember, they're just down to a duo. They've been on this mountain for the longest time. Sharp has been surviving here. Keenan now with him, potentially going for trades, but they still have to worry about their back as well, right? E United slowly starting to take control of the east side, taking shots, gatekeeping T8 as well. Spicy Fish are really kind of the wild card for me in this, just because they can come up in that middle, in the middle of these two teams fighting and potentially get like a little bit of a like sneaky knock.
Yeah, Spicy Fish and T8, really. T8, you got to figure at some point he's going to have to make a move.
Yeah, in a rough position.
Looks like Bing Bang Boom will pull away for now from this Fiumba squad, the 4-piece from Fiumba. Look at this, Zenny taking the long-range 6x M16 shots. That feels bad. There's no DMR yet in the bag for him, but they'll stay alive. Oh, Icy Flex will strike, and he will find Keenan. Sharp shot, though, going to try to see if he can trade it back. As the shots come through, he's going to try to smoke off his boy, but he is going down. Yep, it's down to just Sharp, as he has lost all of his friends and loved ones on this mountain. He is by himself yet again, but what can he do? We've seen Sharp Shot pull off some amazing things as a solo.
I mean, if he can somehow just avoid getting... It's going to be hard, but if he can put himself in a little pocket...
Look at the shift.
He could potentially like snake out a member or two of E United, but he's still got to be wary of Fiumba cresting over the top there.
Oh, Tac A just getting blessed with this circle shift right now.
Yes, they are.
They will find the knock on a Simply Mad as well, but meanwhile, this top of the mountain still has to play itself out. Sharp shot. Oh, Fiumba will come over at the worst time for Sharp shot. There goes Bing Bang Boom down in 5th. Fiumba now up to 6 kills. They'll lose Ribo XD as Flood does find an angle here. United still 4 strong. It's a 4v4 on the top of Everest right now.
And yeah, that shift again was massive for TA, but it also wasn't too bad for Spicy Fish. The problem now is that if Icy Flex cannot go down, Snakers is going to save him.
Oh no. Tac 8 got the initial knock on Simply Matthias there, tried to push off of it, but unfortunately for them, E United was looking, and there you go, Spicy Fish will get cleaned up. T8 though,
T8's looking good, man.
Go for the res on a Tater here, and yeah, they'll be looking pretty strong.
Even in this kind of struggle, right, that they're dealing with, they are playing this very well off that southeast side, coming in late. They held early against, I believe it was Yahoo as well. T8 is definitely looking very strong at the start of this event, and I like to see it. Love to see it even.
Yeah.
Nice shots from Emmy.
Ooh, Emmy through the smoke, through the fog, will find the head. Do a lot of damage there. It looks like Ribo XD maybe thinking about making a run downhill. Fiumba not liking the fight that they have on the top. They're outside of circle. So E United already has the spot that they would like to push into, and it's not looking too good for them. So this might be the best play available for Fiumba, is to try to go and take this low ground. Ribo XD will be the first one down there. He does need to be careful. This is an information gathering mission only.
Yes.
Ribo.
It's a big risk, but it could pay off for them. I still think potentially the best fight for them to take was just to try to go against E United as a straight up 4v4. But if they go low ground, I feel like E United just has too many angles to kind of close them out. But Ribo is actually going to find Tater. That means there's only 2 members left.
He said, screw going for information. I'm going for kills.
I mean, if they can wipe this team out, they can take over the bottom, right? They can take over low ground.
Just shy as he gets 1. So now T8 down to 2, and I think the rest of Fiumba getting word that it is looking pretty free down here. Well, or at least a little bit easier maybe than the top. Because Capitan going to take some damage there from the blue, or actually I'm not sure if that was blue or long shots. Either way, Capitan have to stop down here to heal up a little bit. 8 kills already for Fiumba.
United's position is just so strong. It's so strong, and they've been sitting at that flat top to the north of Everest, right, for the longest time. They had edge. They knew they were going to be able to come into this later, and they just now have taken control. But TAC8, what can you still do? 3 kills, guaranteed at least 3rd place. It's another good, consistent games. Wait, but Snaker's going to find Rebo.
Snakers
Can
from
TAC8
range
steal it?
here.
Oh no, they don't.
Oh, TAC8 got 1 knock there, but they get both of them stolen here as Fiumba. They I guess I just couldn't decide between playing the top or playing the bottom. They try to go for both, and they end up paying the price here as TAC8 landing big shots onto the first knock there, and then getting a little bit of assistance from Snakers there. Zenny going to be the one doing the damage from range. That's a tree, and that's about it. United still have the lion's share of control here inside this circle. DraftKings just going to hide and see if he can maybe snake something out here.
Yeah, at this point, he's just playing his own life. Capitan's off on his own as well, and it's just kind of the 2 members of TAC8 to deal with United as Fiumba kind of sits a little low here. And that's going to be it. TAC8 is done. United knows it's a 4-on-2. They have complete control of the mountain. What can Fiumba do? It doesn't look like much. It is now going to be on 4-on-1, and I'm all about rooting for the underdog, but this is going to be an incredibly difficult task. He's going to find one. DraftKings, can he find another, Poro?
Oh, we'd love to be able to get that flush, but Flood not going to give it to him there. Now Snakers has been spotted out. DraftKings, dangerous man with that gun in his hand, and he's not going to find any knocks. He'll eventually go down. There you go. United gets the 2nd win of today with 8 kills on Everest.
And I don't want to say it was effortless, but man, just from the way they took that initial position up to the north of Everest and the flat top, again, the rotation, waiting, not going on Everest early, knowing that they'd have an opportunity to do that later was just, I mean, it's just so United, man. And it's just so good. It's so clean. Well played.
It really was. And I mean, we didn't get to see it on camera at the time. Maybe we might be able to catch it on replay. I'm not 100% sure. But the push over onto Everest and then immediately just wiping Yoho, no knocks, no nothing. I mean, as clean as you like, that was a huge, huge thing for United. And that probably secured them the victory.
But also want to give a massive shout out to Fiumba, TAC8, as well as Trog. I mean, Trog was up there for a long time fighting as well. And 22 with that beautiful push onto the Sonics fight and the massive flank. I mean, again, showing some real gumption, some real good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, we got a little bit of a wild one there as we finish on Everest. But yeah, again, as you said, TAC8, again, you know, this is a team that has been struggling so hard to get here to the finals. We haven't seen them since PCS 3, but they finally make it back. And so far through 2 games, making a hell of a good showing for themselves. You
absolutely love to see it. And I'm really excited. I hope they can keep this up, though. That's it. I just really hope that they can keep this up because so far they're showing a lot of heart and they're playing their hearts out, man. They're playing very well.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the analyst desk will break down everything we saw there in game number 2, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Game 2 is done, and what a match for E United as they kickstart their day by flooding their opponents with points. Snakers catching up to everybody, beautiful spray downs, and we're just going to talk a little bit while they get reloaded for the next match. Matt, Cameron, myself, we're talking about this. E United gets a win, but they were the stars, but for me it feels like the real star of this match was Everest itself, Matt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even if you talk about Snakers finally getting more of his favorite hobby, which is winning inside this last game, they made a slower approach into the circle, and then everybody was fighting over in the West. They got a much more open approach in the East, and that was a big benefit for them, but also means the fact that they were not capable of getting the massive amount of kills that we always see E United try to walk away with.
But I'll take that, right? I mean, on a circle like that.
Easy circle, any day.
Yeah. Absolutely. We saw how much chaos and a lot of kills were spread out on the western side of Georgia Bull Mountain. But listen, E United, they saw BBB push that west side. They saw an opening. You said, you know what? We'll take this. It's free real estate. And I mean, yeah, they did have to hold off a push from Yahoo, which, despite the scoreboard being all E United, isn't quite as easy as that ended up being for them. But nonetheless, it was still a very good opportunity that they took in order to take that position.
I say you said it's not what it looked like necessarily. Well, let's go back and look at it. It's highlight time.
Oh, man. Everest with all of these teams. You can see that we've got the remnants of synergy going after wildcard here. And this toss is so great. This is just exactly what was going to be going on from here on out. Because look at Everest on that mini-map, Cam.
Yeah, the reason why everyone was pushing on this side is because with the shacks that we saw a little bit of action happening with Tactical 8 and Yahoo, and I think Dodge might have been, no, Dodge on the west side. Either way, down the southeast side, they could just see everything coming in the east. So this was really the only place that teams could approach the mountain if they didn't start on that position. That only was PvP and Troglodytas. I mean, fair play to all these teams like Fiumba for taking that position. But then when everyone is around that area, it's incredibly difficult to hold that in a very, very strong, solidified way, which is what allowed E United to sort of swoop on in at the last minute at the 11th hour and take the crown from everyone.
Well, the trees and the way that the setup is on the western part of Everest means that you do feel like you're a little bit more protected on your approach in there. And that's why we did see so many teams like 22, Sonics, Troglodytas in a fight. Spicy Fish also came in, got involved with, I believe it was Fiumba there. See, Fiumba's still alive as they disengage from this, and Draft King in his sneaky position. That wouldn't be surprised if we spot out in a second. But Tac 8, again in the end game, while we do see E United playing King of the Mountain, or King of the Hill, however you want to say it, is just, I mean, what do you do? Whenever everything's happened on the West, everybody is mutually assured destruction over there. Now you just have a very strong, very firefighty team in E United that really gets to embrace it for a while. And DraftKings, man, you put up a fight, but this is so hard to win.
Yeah, good attempt. His win condition there was getting a single kill and trying to finish before he got found out. And unfortunately wasn't able to work that one through, but Fiumba still got second place, right? Not because of the kills, not too far behind E United.
E United comes out on top, and I loved Matt's very non-technical but super accurate description of them as a firefighty team. They took the fights they had to win. They held the top of the mountain and didn't contest when it didn't need to be done. I mean, this is E United in a nutshell, though. They're at the top, and I'm not shocked at all by it, Matt.
Yeah, a slight risky rotation coming in on the eastern side, but given the fact that everybody's in the west, not that risky, all things considered. And then just being E United. E United has such a good head on their shoulders on how to exploit their advantages. And we're seeing them come into their own more and more. What? This is, out of the last 5 games, 4 wins? That says something in and of itself.
All right, E United versus Troglodytas head-to-head are 2 chicken winners so far. I mean, it's some differential, Matt, but really it just seems like E United's maybe closing down some of those kills a little better, but that's also because they were at the top of a mountain.
Troglodytas did suffer some a more difficult path, we will say, versus E United, who had a much more open sight line. So Troglodytas, still holding that number says something in and of itself.
Yeah, I think, because Troglodytas were at the top of that mountain for a while too, right? Holding off a couple of different swarms before they finally got overtaken. The reason why E United is ahead in damage is because on game number 1, E United were also very active throughout the mid game. It's just that time they weren't able to go towards the end game. And while Troglodytas, they were more back in game 1, they were able to relax and hang back because so many other teams were fighting around them. They didn't need to be the ones outputting that pressure. They just sort of watched while the chaos happened and then played around the end game.
I have a very important strategic question for you. Yaho, were they scouting, or are the meds just that good under the bridge that they had to stop there to get their loot? Like take me through why is the Blues long past?
I don't think that we saw that. If I had to say anything, they probably stopped to trade out some type of gear and equipment before continuing on, since it was such a late rotation. That's the only thing I can see. I don't think that we ever actually got a sightline of them other than on the map. So that's going to be my assumption. They're a smart team. They know exactly what they needed to do, and they're not going to take more blue damage than they needed. So it had to be some type of, hey, I just don't have any first aids, and somebody else traded it out, or scope exchanges, can be common as well before making that rotation.
I like that. I like that. And for those of you at home, Matt brings it up, as do I. If you want to be like us and watch the map stream at the same time, ! Squad Stream will give you the link. And that helps. I mean, it's helpful. Let me ask you, as far as the map goes, I mean, at this point, Cameron, we've played Erangel 5.5 years, I think, now. Is there new discoveries? I mean, obviously, like, the bridge change was massive, but are these players, like, going back over and cycling maps every day after games and watching what their opponents are doing, or is it pretty much memorized across the board how to approach, say, an Everest circle?
Well, it's not just about what the terrain the map is giving you. Every single combination of teams in a lobby changes how that map is played out. When you have more teams that like to play on the edge versus more teams that like to play in the center, that changes how you want to approach the circle. So that terrain that we're all used to and familiar with, even with the number of sort of updates that we've had to it, that's only the building blocks of what the map becomes on top of it with the full lobbies when the teams are all involved.
Well, the building blocks are there for all the teams to get involved in game number 3. It's about to start right now, so let's get Godspeed and Porosaurus up in here.
Hello, everybody. We are back again. It's Porosaurus and Godspeed. Thank you very much. I'm player 1. You're player 2. Don't forget it.
That's fine. I'll be your player 2. No problem with that.
Y'all gonna make me lose my cool.
You really thought I was gonna say something, huh?
Toffee's in here helping us out a little bit here. But yeah, as Toffee's mentioned, thank you very much, Toffees, by the way. Squad Stream in that chat will let you know how to get that map stream up, and it is fixed. It's fixed. It's no longer missed time, so we have got it squared away. What do you got, Toffees?
Take your job. It just seemed like the perfect time to remind everyone about the squad stream. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's the timings are perfect, and you got to get in there, and especially when there's a player that crashed and we have to fill a little bit more time. You guys, you know what? Take whatever you want from me, Toffees. If you want any points that I got, you take them. You deliver them with such flair and passion that I would never be disappointed here. But
what are you trying to do? Are you aware we have to work with him after you just fed his ego like that?
See,
you mentioned timing,
this is
though.
what I'm here for.
You guys mentioned timing. I want to ask this because I've been, Godspeed, especially since you've played, I think, the most recently at this level. Is there a team that's timing has stood out to you so far that you're seeing these guys really seem like they're clicking after these first couple games?
Honestly, I was gonna say Tokyo Manjigen just throughout the qualifiers, but they've had some really rough shifts to give them a little bit of a break. But yeah, they generally have really solid timing, and they're okay.
We're gonna be testing that timing here, boys. We got
I love
Stalber circle.
I love Stalber circles.
No, guys, think about it. We had a Zarky circle. Well, near on a Zarky circle, enough that it still had Zarky in it. Could we get a Kameshki game this time around?
I mean, look.
I don't.
Have
you ever seen? I don't think I've ever seen a game end at Kameshki, like in comp. Has there ever been a Kameshki ending? Like a raw. I'm talking like an actual, not like a rounded or near. I mean, like, but has a circle ever ended in Kameshki in comp? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Not that I remember.
It's just too close to the water, I think.
Cameron's the archivist here.
Cameron?
I don't remember Cameron. Enjoy.
Yeah, Cameron.
I don't remember an ending there either.
Big
well,
gulps,
there
huh?
you go.
See you later.
Hey, you know what, guys? Thanks so much for joining us.
This has been great. Thanks.
This has been awesome.
This has been great. Please get off the stage.
I especially liked Cameron's input. But you know what? We're gonna let you guys take a break, and we'll take over here as we get to see a Stalber circled Godspeed.
So going back to that question, actually, that Steve asked me, though, I do believe that Tokyo Manjigen generally has had good really good timing coming into this, but so far, actually, TAC 8's had some really great timings, especially with the way that they've engaged the fights, the way that they chose to kind of have this, because they weren't in the compound when Yahoo initially pushed him, right? They had 2 split off. We saw Palix off, who unfortunately didn't get the knock that he wanted, but even still, just like having these little moments is really bringing me high hopes for this team now.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things that I like about them is that they, even in their rotations, they are coming in late on some of these, which is fine. Just doing the slow rotate, being a little bit more risk averse in the early games. But they're also rotating together. You're not seeing them super split apart or super spread out. Those risky rotations in lobbies like this, when you haven't gotten a lot of time to prep, where you can oftentimes lose a guy just because somebody ends up being somewhere that you weren't expecting. So TAC 8 kind of avoiding that. At least for the first 2 games here. Of course, I'm saying that now as Tater is the rest of his team is in Yaz, and he's going all the way up to the top of Stall. We're getting a little bit close to Spicy Fish, but that that's something I definitely like to see from a team like that. You know, maybe we haven't gotten to see them a lot in grand finals lobbies. That's one of those things, those risks that you just kind of avoid.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about another team, I'd say Duo on the team of 22, right? That push that they made around, I believe it was Trog that was on the top of that mountain before. That was a beautiful timing to push around and then wipe Trog and the Sonics, right? So there's definitely been some teams in here so far that have shown some really top tier timing.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about 22's first game rotation, though.
No, we won't. That was...
We won't. That was...
that was unfortunate. I'll just say that. It's an unfortunate rotation.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the fact that they drove past like 3 spots that they maybe could have played. It was asking a lot. It was asking a lot. But you know what? First game, no big deal.
I mean, that was a scuffed rotation, anyways. Like no matter where they stop, right? They were gonna have to fight a team in a pretty disadvantageous way. So either way,
I mean, they were basically getting shot at the entire time they were in a car. So you know, you had United in a 2-2 split, then T8. As soon as United stopped shooting out, a T8 opened up. So you know, there was just never a time where they were like, "Oh, here's a spot that we're not getting shot at. Maybe we could stop here." Like it was just rough. Speaking of rough, Vox rocking the mutie.
That's not the ideal weapon that you want to be rocking. I mean, it's not the worst, right? You put that bad boy on single, you get some nice distance shots. And burst up close, it's okay.
Ooh, actually, hold up. You know, one of the things we were talking about earlier coming into today was that Short Circuit Gaming and Young Kings were scrapping for this Fairy Pier loot spot. And this
you were telling me about this, actually.
Yeah, this actually looks like Short Circuit maybe trying to spot out Young Kings to see if they can getting a little scrap early on, but if Vox is behind the 8 ball with that mutant, I think Richie B was rocking a DP, so things not looking too great from the firepower stance of SCG here, but we'll keep an eye on that as we check in with Palix, who is checking in on Spicy Fish.
He's just doing a little scouting. To go back to the SCG Young Kings fight as well, I normally am not like a big fan of these types of drops, especially like when the circle is so far away, right? They have to rotate all the way to the northeast up to Stalber. But this early in event where we have, you know, quite a few games to at least kind of get familiar with the other teams, especially in the drops, I don't think these hot drops are bad because they're essentially just jockeying and fighting for this position, right, for the rest of the tournament. So I get it. Although I'm not a huge fan, I understand why those 2 teams are battling out at Fairy Pier right now.
Well, we've got more to look forward to when we do go over to Miramar as well, because
there's
Wildcard and Fiumba, man, they have been squaring off, and I gotta tell you, Fiumba's kind of had Wildcard's number for the most part.
Fiumba, I mean, we already knew Fiumba was incredibly good at fight. Wait a second, so Extreme just got knocked.
Uh-oh.
I did not see from whom.
Yeah, this was, well, as they were kind of pushing out and keeping an eye for Young Kings, Wildcard made a wrap around on the north side, but it looks like Young Kings might have been the one that got the knock, and now they want to send the full clown car over.
And this is what you got to do.
Get something more off of it. They do get the
drop one
back,
off.
so SCG back up to full strength, but it is just Richie B and Extreme. RDS will open up. We'll get a few shots into Richie, but not enough to get the knock. But they've got a nice spread here going on. And
Waikikamucow
from way downtown is going to find Extreme, and now it's the fight has come off into full bore here. Look at this. Waikikamucow.
Get those points, though. This is huge. If you can just grab another flush. And look at the distance. Look at the distance.
Well, this is one of the things. I mean, Wildcard knows that there's a very high possibility that they're going to be having to deal with Fiumba come Miramar. So if they can get more points, a lot of points here in this final Erangel game, put themselves a little bit in a little bit better position, they can afford to really kind of to stretch that hot drop out, to fight it out a little bit more. But if they're kind of falling behind, which right now 5 points isn't great, that hot drop is going to be a little bit more of a dicey situation.
Yeah, and help from Wildcard aside, I love that the team of Young Kings have taken the onus onto themselves to actually just make this push, right? Oftentimes we'll see kind of these hot drops that end up in kind of this stale, like everyone isn't, making any moves. There's a knock, but they get it up, and
oh my goodness.
There's no action, right? So the fact that they were taking that fight, they got the knock, they went for the push, they even tried to split a little bit. That's exactly what you want to see from a team that's trying to contest an area on a drop. So credit to Young Kings.
Absolute worst case scenario here for Short Circuit as well is they go out again very early. 4 points on the day so far. Young Kings do lose one. But they do manage to keep everybody else up, and they'll be moving right along, and they can avoid Wildcard for the most part at this point going forward. So, shout out to Young Kings for sticking it out. But Wildcard, definitely the biggest beneficiary out of that. And I don't even think they were involved in it at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't even think they meant to get involved until they heard the fighting, right? They were probably just looting, about to go about their day, and they turned around and saw those knocks. But, yeah, again, really love the proactivity there on the drop from Young Kings. A team who's not like super passive, but generally we don't see them kind of getting a lot of fights, especially around the edge. But it is nice to see that from them, and I hope they continue that into the circle.
I think historically, Young Kings, we kind of think of them as a team that did really, really well in
winner
format.
100%.
And we haven't really seen them just kind of show what they're capable of in the super format just yet. So definitely keeping an eye on them as we see Tokyo Manji Gang going to fall. 22 going to be right underneath them. They'll pick Haztan out, and that's going to be 22. Again, just rotation problems here on Erangel early.
Yep. 22 has really been actually struggling with the majority of their rotations today. I mean, the first game was pretty much a travesty for them, unfortunately. The second game, they had some good moments and they made that really good push, but they still got cut down to a duo and making that rotation. So they're just driving around so much, it gives me anxiety.
Man, I mean, this is a team that definitely operates at its best when they just kind of avoid early game.
They're getting picked apart, though.
Vinny is going to get spotted out. Rybo actually going to have that kill stolen away from him by Rusty Zera. So now Haven and Dean Zera, now the last two players up for 22 again, as they just, like you said, it's just early losing guys.
Early woes. It's just early woes for this team. Their rotations are easily, I would say, whenever they play in the Americas, 22's biggest issue is generally rotations. Their team fights are really solid. They obviously have really great kids on their team that can aim and shoot very well. Mechanically are skilled, but the problem is the macro. 22 needs to work on their macro.
No, I mean their macro has been fantastic. Honestly, at times. I mean, that's how we
at
see
times,
them.
yes.
They keep 4 up. They get to the late game. I mean, that's how we saw them get so much success. I mean, they managed to find really good compounds in the center of the circle, but again,
that's just
like
it.
Said,
when they're
today.
Not center circle, historically, when they don't get circle, that's when they struggle.
Yeah, you don't want to sit there and call them a circle luck team.
No,
but,
they're not.
You know, it's they can fight their way into good positions, but they definitely seem to have more luck or better
more
performances
success.
rather when they're playing from that center circle with a hard cover position, and it's just been really tough so far, at least through 3 games, for them to find those center circle compound positions.
I'll tell you what, though, and then this is the last that we're harping on. They have many games to play, and they're a good team. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I'm not terribly worried about 22.
Absolutely. Lots of time to play, and we haven't even gotten to mention this just yet, but Dean Zera playing for them for this tournament alone, as they have a rookie on
They got
deck.
a young gun, and yep.
Guy Zera, that kid is nuts. If you get a chance to watch scrims or watch 22 playing with Gizera, this kid is absolutely phenomenal.
Looking forward to that.
Not going to be 18 until PCS 7, so we'll get to see him for PCS7, but he is definitely somebody I am really, really looking forward to seeing play. But 22, again, I mean, they've made all the finals, so as long as they manage to get something productive here in ESL, they should be setting up nice for PCS7.
Yep, absolutely. And those points, and eventually PGC, right? That's the ultimate goal.
Absolutely.
And looking now, we see Sonics here with this 2-2 split. They're 2-2 split at no lean, and then kind of up in the lower southwest side of Stahlborough. I actually like the split because they can Mime and Shrimsy can easily watch over Tig.
Yeah.
And Huyn here, and if they need to, they can crash back down. But also, I mean, this compound no lean is big enough for them to kind of reposition if they get crashed. So it's a nice little split, and they get a lot of info on who's coming in on the west side of the circle as well.
Yeah, just looking like a little bit of confusion on the part of Wildcard there. I think they got pushed away from the cliffside by Sonics, but started to creep up to the north and then turned it around, came back down to the south. So they're back on the cliffs as we see Relo in the PIP. Oh my goodness. Relo. Just absolutely bodies Roth. And well, not bodied, he headshot him, but he destroyed the guy.
I got the point.
Ooh. Okay, there you go. The hard shift down to the southeast. We get to see this circle again. I haven't seen
but it's a splits. It's the splits.
Oh no. Relo again, turning it back onto Bing Bang Boom. This man is driving around with an empty revolver, oldless. You gotta pull something out. He's got 1 HP. Is he gonna be able to get away with this? Flood tries to creep over to see if he can find the angle. One shot is all it's gonna take, but oldless will avoid it for now.
I will say so far, I mean, we're only 3 games in, but the splits have not been working for BBB at all. They've lost members early. We saw it last game as well on Everest. It's a rough start. It's definitely a rough start for the boys.
Yeah, it's kind of shades of their first day of regionals, actually, where they were doing these.
The splits were not working there either.
And yeah, they were doing the splits and they were getting caught out a little bit. And well, we saw what they were able to do in day 2. So definitely not. Things are still okay for Bing Bang Boom through 3 games, but again, you know, same kind of issues as 22. They're just getting caught early and losing some guys here. As we check in with Tokyo Manji Gang, they're doing the full surround on this duo from Fiumba.
And Wildcard is just skirting all the way down to the south. Definitely not stopping for that crate. I'll tell you that much right now. They're going to be going all the way for a wide rotation, try to head to the east. But the problem is United is waiting for them. United, again, has so... The fact that they're getting away with this much control, and I say getting away with...
They're not even going to get there. They're not even going to get there.
Yeah, Wildcard's not even going to get there.
Young Kings. Oh no, things falling apart here for you Wildcard, as you said, doing the long rotation down to the south side. The Young Kings 4 deep in the compound, and unfortunately Wildcard getting a little bit too close. It's now down to just Nikos, it's now down to just nobody, as E United does get their pound of flesh off of Wildcard. But here we go, Tokyo Manji Gang trying to collapse onto Fiumba, but Fiumba holding strong. It's down to just Juarez.
And Juarez is going to he's going to actually find a beautiful knock there onto Emmy, but yeah, Tokyo Manji Gang are really struggling so far in this lobby compared to how consistent and how solid they were earlier. But yeah, this is proving to be a bigger challenge for the newer team.
A little bit of a slow start here for
all good.
Tokyo Manji Gang. But good. Yeah, lots of games left to play. Lots of games left to play here. As United now has spotted out Young Kings right on the edge of the circle. Kickstart. Do a little bit of damage, not looking like they're getting any knocks in just yet, but Young Kings definitely spotted down. Love the split from E United here on that southeastern side.
I was just about to say, I said earlier, get away with, but it's just the way that they hold is so solid. Like, even with Kick being as far out as he is, right? And normally I'd be screaming like, oh man, this is, you know, he's off in his zone, he's not going to be able to get traded, but he's actually going to be able to get support from the rest of his team, right? He has Snakers there watching over him. He's in a good spot. I mean, again, it's... Every time we mention United, we know, right? They're just incredible at controlling their side of the circle, their edge. I mean, they're one of the best in the world at it.
Spicy Fish getting a little bit of love with this circle shift now, as we saw Sonics making their way in just to the north side of those warehouses that TAC 8 are holding down so fastidiously. As Synergy right on their south side as well. So lots of teams right on that western side, and looks like 22 going to try to send it in. Young King's going to go 4 deep in the vehicle. They're going to run right past Dodge. Are they going to push right into Dodge? Finn has got the grenade ready to go. He's got an AUG in hand. He's going to find 1. Can he find 2? No. Will go down, as Dodge will try to give him some support, though.
That is a really messy fight at this. It's like one off, right? This
I mean,
one yellow.
Who
It's
expects
just
to
sitting
get
here.
four-man crashed outside a circle? I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's an odd play for sure. If I'm sitting there as a solo, I don't think this team's going to crash me. Just probably going to drive by, right? But no, Ethan going to take some shots. Not going to find the knock, but still holding down Young Kings. This is potentially just free points for Dodge, unless they drive straight into E United, in which case they'll probably pick those up.
Well, they may have just been stopping there just to get a hold on hands on another vehicle, as we saw they were 3 or 4 deep in the Dacia this time. Now at least they have a buggy in hand. RDS is going to be the first one to go, and now they're going to trish right into Ethan. He's going to go down to the spray from Mikaz, and now they're not stopping. They're going to crash right onto Gax and Hikerman. The spray comes through. Hikerman will find 2. It's down to just Andy FPS, and that is the last one remaining. Will try to come through, and that's going to be it.
That's it.
Oh, wait, no,
it's
more
not.
RDS.
There it is. Gats is nuts. What a hold. Beautiful stuff.
Give the kid his flowers. We've been talking about the youth movement in American PUBG. And Lou Punage picks the man right out of the back of the car. Harita will go down.
Yeah, Young Kings did not make that easy, though. I thought that was going to be a really much more of a difficult rotation. I mean, it was a difficult rotation, but they made it hard. So, kudos to them. But even still, coming off that shack in that situation with Circle, I'm pretty sure any team at that point would have been relatively easy to pick off.
Yeah,
it's rough. It is what it is.
It wasn't looking great. It wasn't looking great. Well, up at the top of Stalber, we've got Fiuma and Troglodyta, so it looks like Robo XD is going to get spotted out. Kildemo will spot out Emmy. I don't think he knows that Capitan is right down below him. As you can see, Capitan just hears the shots, not making the push chase yet. Oh, he's going to find Necro, though. So now Kildemo will have to come over and try to provide some support for his fallen teammate. Posa and Rusty Zera still uphill, and Kildemo will take shots from range there. Rusty Zera will get the knock on to Emmy, though, with the good, well-placed grenade. I think it's just down to Capitan. Capitan going to find one. Can he find another one? He's flashed to within an inch of his life. The push coming through, and there you go. Fiumba gets taken down by Troglodytas.
Beautiful stuff from Trog. What a fight. They should be able to recover fairly simply, and look at this. Sonics, meanwhile, are pushing T8.
Solo Mime.
I say Sonics. It's just Mime.
Mime wants all of this. He's got some support from
there
uphill.
They are.
And okay, Win will try to give him a little bit of cover, but Mime will just creep right up on the back of Tater. That's an easy kill there for Mime. Tater didn't even see him coming, and now T8 is fully aware that they've got a Mime in their presence.
That's a dangerous prospect.
It is. And now he's got some support as well. As you can see, Shrimsy and Tig are going to come down. Oh, immediately Palix will get the knock, though, on a Tiggleton. So the Sonics will have to turn things around here. But Synergy giving them some support from the south side.
I mean, that was the perfect time to come down. But I think it's just now left to one member. I think it's
just like that.
Yeah. What a hold.
Tig and Mime actually, I think Shrimsy and Mime are still up. Tig should be getting rezzed right now, as it looks like Shrimsy's just going to hold off right now, make sure nobody pushes while they go for that res. Hooligan, though, you can see starting to wrap. Shrimsy spots him out. Good spray will be enough to put him on pause and allow Mime to finish this res.
Yep.
He's going to come and provide some more support here. Hooligan all by himself, I believe. So the solo man push. Shrimsy spots him out. Going to play a little do-si-do around, and there you go. Mime will clean it up.
Easy cleanup there for the Sonics, but a great attempt coming out from T8. A great attempt indeed, but Mime's position was just so strong. He snuck in and he was able to get that knock, and that's pretty much when the Sonics came flooding in. And they now will have a decent little foothold here on the northwest side. I mean, or just west side in general. They have a road or something to play here. It's just their next play is going to be a little dicey.
Unfortunately, won't be able to get the res on a win, as there you go. Spicy
Straight
Fish going to
22.
clean up Yahoo. Really well done there. Is now Sonics right on. They'll find the knock on a Dinzera. Haven going to find 2, but not the third, as Mime will be the one that cleans them up. And now can they get the 2 reses? Trog realizing what's going on here. He's going to lay the smokes down and try to find a little bit of time to get the res. At least one.
Gotta be careful not to get knocked.
Through. Silzen will find Rusty Zera, though. Synergy giving Mime and Sonics some support from range.
Synergy has also been, I believe, taking shots. I think they might have even knocked one earlier from Sonic. So Synergy has been doing a great job of third-partying this fight completely. They have a nice little split here on the west side and then the southwest down looking at Dodge. I like this a lot from Synergy.
Synergy, the unofficial 5th member of Sonics right now, but now that grenade.
Oh, that
that's
nade.
going to find Tiggleton. It won't find more than that, though. Mime trying to hold off. Oh,
Shrimsy
and
Mime's on fire.
Very, very low. Mime's on fire. Shrimsy dropping down in the smokes to try to go for the heal. Tig will get finished off in the end. Mime gonna go down as Moody actually aiming. So it's been a long time since we've seen some Moody arm action.
Yeah.
But Synergy helped out Sonics for a long time there. I mean, they helped him out in the push against T8. They help out against to keep Trog from crashing down onto him. But now Synergy turning their attention towards finishing off the boys in blue.
And now Synergy has so much space to work with. This entire west side is free, but Moody, he's gonna find another knock with that arm.
Moody is a problem. Kill Demo tries to hold off Spicy Fish. He'll find one, but won't find the second. So Spicy Fish should be able to get that res. Remain 4 strong, playing from the north side uphill. Keep in mind, E United still 4 strong, coming in from the southeast. Synergy as well. They've gotten Silzen knocked. Oh, there goes Shrimsy.
Damn,
Pippa
what a
will pick him
shot.
out of the US. Nicely done for Pippa. But Sonics go down in 5th place. That brings us down to our top 4 teams. Godspeed.
That is going to be EU, Synergy, Spicy Fish, and one lone little member of Just Too Easy.
They'll never discount.
I mean, he's going to get some points here. He's obviously survived this long for his team.
Oh,
so.
absolutely. He's for a solo, he's in kind of a rough spot, though. He's hiding behind a tree on the edge of circle, and he's got a ways to go to try to make it in. Unfortunately, here for Nehibol. Maybe E United might get a little bit tunnel visioned and give him a little bit of an opportunity. It looks like he spots out just enough time, and he's going to make the run for it. Meanwhile, in the picture-in-picture, you can see Spicy Fish trying to work their way down from the north. It's like they have an idea of where E United is.
This is one of those situations where they need to kind of pick a fight, because if they try to split their attention, we saw it last game as well, if they try to split their attention between both Synergy and E United, they're just going to get picked
Flood.
apart. Yep.
Clearing out
I'm
the
very
edges
nervous
here.
for Spicy Fish right now.
Flood
They don't
doing
get
his
a
due
knock.
diligence here for E United, making sure that they clear out. I think they have a good idea that there's a snake over here. They just can't find him. So Flood going to use this opportunity to try to see if he can spot him out. Nehibol going to be taking some blue damage, and that might be it. Flood's going to spot him out.
Oh, wait, no, he didn't.
Flood actually shooting Pat.
He saw Pat
from range. He might not even see the guy that's right underneath him. And now Nehibol is going to strike. He's going to find
gonna get the
Moody.
points.
He's going to get
Oh, he
another
couldn't.
point. Oh, just barely before he goes down to blue. But Spicy Fish going to be the one that suffers the most.
Spicy Fish was not the benefactor at all in that situation. They lost pretty much everything. Just 2 members left. Simply Matthias, what can you do? He's going to get knocked out of the vehicle, and that's it. Spicy Fish done. And Synergy, meanwhile, taking all of this time to start to move into the center circle and take complete control. Now United is on the back foot.
They sure are, but they've got 10 kills in the bag already, 44 points overall. First place in the lobby. Synergy with 7 kills now stand to gain a lot in this game. If they can get this res on, Peppa's in no man's land, though. Unfortunately, I don't know if that might be resable. They're going to try. Benya going to actually send it over here to see if he can maybe give him a little bit of cover. Fortunately, Peppa's got a
goodness.
rock. Okay. United making it real difficult for him.
There's a world where someone blows that vehicle up and it Michael Bay's forwards and it just kills them both. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I'm just saying that'd be neat to watch.
Not saying I don't want it to happen either. Well, Danny TW tried to go for the low side flank on the south to see if he can maybe distract the United long enough to get the maybe a knock here. And
Needs to
Silzen
get this
actually gonna
knock.
spot
He
out
needs to get this
Snakers.
knock.
Oh, Snakers tried to go for the grenade onto the rock where the res just came through, but unfortunately he gets spotted out by Silzen. Good shots there, as you said. That was an imperative knocks that Synergy needed to get, and they will flush out Snakers. And now United down to 3.
Down to 3. I mean, that low ground position was very strong. If Snakers could have gotten that nade or even survived, that would have been huge. But now Synergy obviously going to take control of that. Danet is all the way down to the bottom. And he is going for a nice wrap. And he's going to find one. Kick going to get knocked. It's now just a 4-on-2 for E United. And they're not even in the circle, Poro.
The widespread from Synergy paying off huge dividends here as Danny working the low south side, Silzen working the high hill up north. Flood will find Pippa, and that'll open up a little bit of room here for E United.
Looks like actually a crazy shot from Danny. I mean, that distance, he got that knock.
Really well played there, yeah. Looks like they're going to try to go for the res on a kickstart, get back up to 3, and it looks like they should be able to do so. Are they going to send Danny over towards Pippa, see if they can maybe get him back up? Silzen, he's got a nice little angle here.
Flood could potentially do so much work. And he has to, right? The other 2 members are pinned. They're outside the circle. He's inside, but it's going to be difficult. for him to find something being on that low ground, but he is going to find one. That's a flush, brings us down to a 3-on-3. I believe there's one knock potentially for us. Yeah, it's a 3-on-2. United is turning this around in their favor. That is that is ridiculous.
3-on-2 long-range mechanics battle here, and right now United
Danny's got to find him.
As the lead. Oh, we heard the footsteps of Flood though. He's going to switch over Flood. We'll have to pull back. Flash comes through, Flood pushing through.
Oh,
He's
Danny!
gonna get it. Danny will turn it immediately back onto him. As United, this is just a back and forth mechanical
fight,
battle.
Man. This is a
great
sick
stuff.
fight.
Benya gonna find Rello. Oh, he gets out of the way just in the nick of time. That crate huge right now for United.
Yeah, but United is in a really rough position. Relo is all but stuck, and that's almost...
He's by himself.
Almost a free kill, and it is. It's going to be... And what a way for Synergy, man, to close that game out. It was a straight-up 4-on-4, I think, at the beginning, and then it just turned into, like you said, a mechanics battle between the two teams, and it was impressive to watch, man.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got United, one of the best mechanical teams in the world, really. And then you have Synergy, a team from Latin America who we all know is playing with Ping Diff, and they're getting in peak battles with United, and they win that fight straight up 3v1 or 4v4 rather, and just fantastically played from them. I mean, the spread, the high ground, the low ground, multiple angles, playing their life, putting pressure on United. I mean, United was in a tough spot. For sure. You know, you can't discredit that at all. But, you know, at the end, Synergy has to win that fight. And they were hitting all the shots that they absolutely needed.
They were hitting the shots. And then even Snakers, who tried, you know, bless his heart, he tried to go for a crazy play. It almost worked out, but he got knocked. It was Danny. Danny was the one that, in my opinion, probably saved that fight for Synergy. And he deserves all the accolades and praise for that one.
No, absolutely. I mean, so Silzen was one that actually got the knock onto Snakers as he was moving in from the top side, but Danny could have done it too. Danny had the angle as well. So, I mean, in the end, it was both guys, the high and the low guy, that was keeping Snakers from getting that grenade and turning that thing on its head immediately. So, really, really well played by Synergy, and a huge win for them, obviously. But once again, I mean, even United coming in second there, they still got just a massive load of kills, and they are sitting comfortably in first place right now through 3 games.
They're still sitting on top, but also shout out to that. It was the last member of, I think, Just Too Easy, right? He managed to secure a top 4 for himself on top. I think did he get that flush? He might have gotten the point. Either way, that was a really good save for a team that essentially kind of got wiped, I think, early in rotation. So shout out to them as well.
And we see Spicy Fish again there in the late game as well. So a lot of interesting stuff here through 3 games on Air Gold. Now, we are about to switch over to Miramar, but before we take a quick break, wanted to remind you that PCS 7 registration is now open. Go and check out na.pubgesports.com. Open qualifiers are going to start on August 10th, so make sure you get signed up before them for your chance at PGC points and $250,000 in prize money. And remember, if you win PCS 7, that's an automatic qualification PGC, Godspeed. So make sure you sign up right now and you have your shot at making the world's premier PUBG tournament internationally. So make sure to go and check out na.pubgesports.com for more details. But guys, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, the analyst desk will break out what we saw in game number 3.
We're back. It was a short break, so I hope you didn't go too Miramar because it's time for Miramar. My name's Tavis. I'm joined by Matchroom and Cameron as we head to the desert for the last 2 matches of the day. But it's a full weekend of PUBG spectacularness. Welcome back, guys. That was an itch. The circles have been something, Cameron. Something.
Yeah, you really had to manage your high ground. Which is, I mean, that's always going to be an advantage. High ground is always going to be valuable, but in these first 3 games especially, it's been incredibly important.
I feel like our producer is giving us encouraging phrases for everyone at home. Like, hey guys, teamwork makes the dream work. Go out there and do it. Or was that this nature of the game, Matt? Was this one all about like teamwork? Is that what ultimately resulted in the win?
Depends on how you define teamwork. In some cases, yes. In other cases, no. I felt like the last lineup, whenever we saw it between Synergy and United, almost came down to pretty much a 1v1 whenever we saw Danny hold his line. But verticality has definitely been a thing, as most of that last game was defined by the valley between the 2 teams.
All right, well, if verticality has us take a look back at the highlights, and we'll pretend we're Arnold hanging from the rock.
Where to even begin?
Cliffhanger. Yeah,
okay. See, all these people out there talking about E-United. Oh my God, look, they just get all of this circle favor. Here we are at phase 3 with them firefighting and fighting successes. They are finding a lot of kills, so every single time you guys are talking about rats, no. Fighting into the circle.
Okay, fighting into the circle, they were on the low ground. They had to deal with a couple people pushing for different angles, but let's not pretend that United had to push in from the edge in the way that we see Fiumba right now. This was a rough engagement. Yeah, sure, Fiumba came out on top, but with the speed that the blue was closing, Troglodytes were like prime position to cut these guys down.
I mean, with the way that the circle continually was moving into the east, that led to a death funnel that was occurring on the western sections of the circle, and you can see Wildcard. They ventured into the wrong territory. Young Kings didn't have the cleanest rotation into getting into this point, but man, they are rewarded for it as Wildcard just rolled right into the wrong spot. And hey, now guess what's going to happen on the opposite side of it? We've been talking a lot about Gats and Hikerman, and here you go, just absolutely demolishing.
Yeah, listen, Dodge didn't, have this one for free, right? They were able to hold off at the very end, but really this mid-game for a lot of the teams, like Young Kings, tested their ability to send it from one compound to the next. A little bit of a staggered approach here by Young Kings, but yeah, as you said, Gats and Hikerman holding it down, getting the shots. It was down to the line with them, and they held it. They didn't get much farther from this point because, I mean, look at how much high ground control there is for a couple of different teams and how squash a number of squads are with each other.
This was a very interesting circle. As you can see, the edge fighting that's going on between Synergy and Troglodytes and Sonics. This is all a key component on how we're going to see the control happen with Synergy getting to the west, and we're going to see E-United getting the east. But it's this valley that's kind of laying in between them that's causing so much of these firefights. As you can see, you just having to play edge and move in, and Mime, I feel so bad. Mime was having a phenomenal game until Molotovs and nades just made it so hard for the Sonics to survive.
So this is what that valley, that little gap that you were talking about, and Synergy had a really good spread because United had to work some small pieces of cover to finish off the stragglers of Spicy Fish and like 1 or 2 other solos as well. That gave Synergy the ability to move out, and it was Danny's flank down towards the south that almost won them the game at this specific moment. There was some answer back from United, but fortunately in the end, Synergy were able to clutch it out in that 1v1, but it got very, very close.
Yeah, this is just clean and simple. 2 center control players playing, and then you have Danny to the south, and then you have Silzen to the north. A beautiful contain. Honestly, this is what more often than not we see United trying to do with their in circles, but they were in more of that wolf pack stacked together kind of situation, and Synergy exploited it.
I think they also, shout out to keeping their heads about them. Danny kind of whiffed a little bit there, and I think there was a chance that Synergy could have thrown caution to the wind or let go a little bit too soon, but they held tight, they played smart, they came out with the win. E-United is going to be on top. Now, Cameron, while 2 of the 3 chickens have gone to Latin America, E-United has finished 1st and 2nd. These guys are killing it.
Yeah, and even before that on game number 1, they didn't get a podium position, but they still got a whole bunch of kills. So they're squeezing every single game for as much as it's worth. Any sort of concern about their mental not being on top after the qualifiers, that's all out the window right now. Those 3 wins from the regional playoffs really put them on their best foot to take this entire series.
Well, as you brought up squeezing everything you can out of a game, we're going to go to two guys who can squeeze everything out of this match. It's Godspeed and Porosaurus. They got the cast. We're not going to leave you guys still alone.
You know, I too love the 1993 blockbuster cliffhanger with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Did my mistaking the action leave you?
You've triggered my co-casters so hard. I don't know if we're going to be able to recover.
I don't even know if I want to be here anymore.
You might just walk out the door now. Thanks
This
so
Discord
much,
chat is
Bobby.
filled with comments related to this. He was very
I was very upset. It's Stallone, man. Anyways,
Today I learned there are so many fans of Stallone in the movie Cliffhanger. Also, Last Action Hero.
Last Action
today I
Hero
learned.
is a banger. That's a classic for sure.
It's an
Kind of
excellent
goated,
film.
actually. But
This
yeah.
circle is not those. Very vanilla
not
circle.
great. It's not
just-
great.
It's not that it's not great. It's just
You're not a fan?
well, I feel like we've been spoiled. The last three
This is a
circles were
Rumbler
nuts.
circle if you ever saw
Of
it.
course it
You
is.
love this
Right.
circle.
It's
I
like
love-
a Stallone movie. It's just okay.
Okay.
Can we get
You
the
need to
desk
really
out of
pull
here?
back.
Yeah, can we get the
Yeah,
desk out of here?
Get him out of here. They're done. He's going to disrespect my man Sly Stallone like that. We'll have none of
That's
it
crazy.
here, chat. We stand Stallone in this house.
I know for a fact he wouldn't say that to Stallone in real life. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, he wouldn't. He'd get worked. He'd get absolutely worked. But, well, speaking of getting worked, Mime, what is happening here? Necro getting a little bit rambunctious, getting a little brave here for the Trog boys, working his way a little bit farther north and has no idea. He has no idea, does he?
If there was an idea to be had, I promise you Necro wouldn't have it.
Look at my creep. Skirt.
He doesn't want to make too much noise, but yeah, this is precarious to say the least, right? Here comes the rest of Sonics.
Oh yeah, he's got the boys on the
Necro,
way.
you don't even know. You don't even know.
Oh, I think he heard the vehicles. He's just going to get out of there, and that's probably the best
Mime might
case
still
scenario.
shoot the tires. He's going for the tires. He tried to adjust. I respect that.
Nice.
He tried to adjust for the tires. Yep.
Well, fortunately for him, Necro, Rusty Zera, Johnny on the spot there, managed to take a few shots back over towards Sonics to make sure that they can't just free peek. So good support there from Troglodytes to get their man out of there. And Necro, I don't know if he knows how close he came to imminent death there.
Yeah, I mean good on him though. He heard the vehicle. He knew exactly what was about to happen. Right, he was about to get crashed, and he bounced out. Mime, for all intents and purposes, was in a really good spot. He almost got the spray. I think, I'm pretty sure he almost got one of those tires as well. But he will get away, and for the time being, Trog will stay 4-up in a pretty strong position, I might add, in the center of the circle. This is a wild split, though. They have to be careful.
And you just saw that quick little stat there in the corner. United, their kill count pretty high right
pretty
now.
Decent.
Pretty decent. And you know what? I got to throw a bone out there to all those Sonics fans. I got to say, we haven't really been talking a lot about them today, just because we haven't seen them win, but with no wins, they're still sitting in third.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still doing really, really well here, and those circles have by no means been favorable to that Sonic squad either. So they're playing pretty darn well so far here today, and we'll see if they can get a little something going for them here on Miramar now that they are dead center there towards Picado.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they've been rotating in, getting kills, finding consistent top 5, top 6 finishes every single game, right? So it's not surprising at all to find them in the top 3, and that's something that we kind of expect from Sonics, right? It would actually be weird if they weren't, but overall, they're still playing fine. They're playing good, I would say, and I'm sure they're going to adjust. That's the most dangerous thing about the Sonics is how quickly they can adjust to a lobby, and I'm sure we'll see that in the next coming days as well.
Checking in with Wildcard, this was a little bit of a point of contention here coming into Miramar. This power grid drop spot, Fiumba and Wildcard have been hot dropping each other all week long in scrims, fighting it over, but it looks like Wildcard takes it for the most part. Fiumba tried to get a little bit of a wrap going on, but nothing really ever coming of it. Icy Fish. Spicy Flex taking the shots over the top towards Synergy.
Oh, that was good. That was a good one. I like that one. Thank you. Spicy Flex and Icy Fish. There we go. We're in there.
Got another shout out
going
to
for the
Gibson on that
tires.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Those tires.
He taught me the spicy flex thing this week, and yeah, it definitely stuck.
Wait,
with
how
me.
are those tires still not?
I don't know. They are.
This is the world's strongest rubber. Dear Lord.
I mean, Rybo got the run flats on the Bronco right now, but
no kidding.
He is staying alive. It looks like he finally has to pull to a stop here. And unfortunately for well, there goes that US as it's proceeding downhill and into the side of Hikerman.
And Gat's trying to make the push, but he's going to actually go back down. There is cover to be had from the rest of Fumbo, so Rebo's going to get out. Very nice. I mean, I was not sure, honestly, with that first spray was hitting his rear tires. I thought he was going to get spun out, but he managed to survive.
He does indeed. Gets a little lucky there. It might have been shots from Wildcard that actually did the damage on to him as he tried to go for the escape. You can see some shots from over there off in the southeast coming through. That's going to be the team it's coming from, but for the most part, it looks like they're able to. Okay, Finna. Through the side window.
Just a nice little headshot. We take those.
We do take those. We take those every time, but Emmy definitely not too happy about it. Now he's sitting there with a red helmet, wondering, well, damn it, what do I have to do? Okay. Looks like they're going to be able to reset for the most part here, as Capitan to give his man some overwatch. A few shots over towards Gats and Ethan. You got to be careful there, Capitan. Those are two guys you don't want to have hard peeking you back.
Well, also just in case, like, maybe Wildcard or even another team pushes up on their duo, right? This is a pretty wide split. They're completely across the road from each other, and it can work out, but they have to be careful not to get crashed. And in fact, if this circle actually centers up, we're going to see a lot of crashes from teams, right? Because most of the juicy positions that a majority of the teams want to take are already taken.
Well,
and
yeah,
so
I mean,
really, there's nothing left.
Look at the spread as well. I mean, pretty much every team is in at least a 2-2 split, with the exception, I guess, of Bing Bang Boom, who's 4 deep, right in the dead center. But just a lot of wide splits coming in here, trying to take up a lot of real estate just in case the shift goes away, so they have at least a foothold, or at least are in a place where they can scout out where the next circle ends up popping here. As you can see, United creeping into the south side of Picado here, at least with 2, and Yahoo on the north side as well.
Well, that's kind of the problem here, yeah. Like as you said, everything is occupied, right? There is actually like one thing open in the center map. It's a gas station. It's like right in between BBB and Fumba split. That is potentially playable, and then there's like there's another compound just below Fumba. But yeah, everything else, like I said, if this thing centers up, it's gonna be hell for the third phase because it's going to cause a lot of crashes for these teams.
Well, checking in with 22, they are very, very late to the party, way off to the north still. There's still plenty of room for them to play, but, for a team that's been...
with this.
Yeah, I mean, for a team that's been kind of having struggles with their rotations early game here, trying to send it to dead center, slowing things down here on Miramar, just playing with the circle, playing with the zone, just hanging out on the edge. This is a nice adjustment.
Because I know for a fact if 22 can get in towards like circle 5 or circle 6 with like 3 or 4 up at the very least, like they will fight and they will probably win those gunfights, right? It's just making it to that point with 3 or 4 up has been kind of the sticking point so far, at least today, but already making the adjustments, right? As you said, they're slowing things down. They're coming in from the north. They're taking their time. They're scouting still, and they're still potentially looting as well, right? So they're not only going to come in with at least 3 or 4 up, but they're also going to come in with good gear, good ammo, good utility, etc.
And a pretty good idea if they do their due diligence and scouting about where everybody
they're free.
Yeah, about where everybody is around them, and they're going to get to avoid any of that that circle 2 craziness that we were talking about is the potential of here as we wait for that first circle to finish collapsing. About 20 more seconds left to go. Yahoo still kind of operating on that north side of Picado. United, as we saw before, 2-2 split. Snakers and Rello just holding down the south side here, but they do have some support from off in the distance as United going for that big wide 2-2. Meanwhile, Short Circuit Gaming starting to creep in a little bit close to the eastern half of that 2-2 split here. We'll keep an eye on that as Circle 2 does pop, and there you go. It's going to center up.
Basically, yep. And Short Circuit Gaming is actually a team we really haven't even been able to talk about so far on the day. A team that I was really excited for coming in just because they look so hungry and they played so well in the regionals. But yeah, it's so far been a struggle for them as well. If they can just get into the circle and maybe in the surrounding mountains to the east of Picado, they should be able to scout the situation and see that maybe even a northern rotation is possible for them.
little bit of a slow start here as 22 will crash down. They're going to find Tokyo Manji Gang, or at least to the northern half of a 2-2 split from Tokyo Manji Gang. Hayes 10 takes a little bit of damage from that grenade. Will have to stop down the push. The rest of his squad starting to arrive. The southern duo from TMG now arriving as Colton going to stay on those hills, just kind of watch the outsides here to make sure nobody from 22 wraps around the outside. Ooh, good spot Haven though.
Oh my goodness, the headshot trades right there. But Colton, so Tokyo Manji Gang, we've obviously talked about how well they've done, especially as a near team. But I think the two member, it's so hard to talk about just two, but I feel like the duo of Zealot and Colton have had so many clutch moments right together. But then even like Hallow, My Bad, and Wade's or Wada's have just been so good. I mean, I really like this team. I just want them to find some consistency today. At the very least, end Miramar with some decent points, right?
Yeah,
because they are not a last place team.
They are definitely
not a last place team at all.
I mean, we've obviously been talking a lot about Hallow My Bad, the new face that we saw so many exciting things from. Man. Yeah, especially if you go back and watch those regional qualifiers. Hallow My Bad put on a little bit of a highlight reel, but definitely all the members there, and especially you look at Zealot, a guy that played with that Ascend / Wildcard squad for so long, now finding himself on a new team, and they are just absolutely vibing right off the bat. So we'll see if TMG can pull something a little bit more together here. As you said, 4 points, not really what we expected from them coming in early on here in the first 3 games, but lots of time left, Godspeed. Lots of time left to reset for all these teams.
Again, at this point, for the teams that are on the bottom, like SCG, Tokyo Manji Gang, BBB is a team we didn't even talk about. I realized they're sitting in 14th place. That's not right. You know, at the very least, the hopes are that they get some points here in the last 2 games of Miramar. That way they can go into tomorrow with a little more momentum and a little more kind of like feels good attitude, right? Because it really sucks sometimes. I've been there. You come off of a bad day and you're just like, it sucks. You know, like we should have done much better yesterday. But overall, I feel like the mental on all those teams will be just fine if they can just get some points.
Yep, just getting to that
Even
point
if they
where
don't, they'll be fine. But
just shake it off.
Shake
it off. Go next. Avoid the tilt as much as you can. And there you go. And we check in with Young Kings doing a wraparound. Wanted to give a quick shout out once again. The map stream has been fixed. It has been fixed. It was out of sync a little bit, but now it's been reset, so it should be good to go. And you can hit that with the squad stream. If you hit the ! Squad stream in the chat right now, it'll tell you everything you need to know about that. And you too can watch these rotations happen in real time on the map. As there's a lot to keep track of here, especially on circles like this.
I mean, yeah, again, if this is like one of those circles where the center up is actually it causes a lot more issues because of how many teams are already entrenched in the spots that they've taken, right? And this one is actually going to pull pretty hard to the west.
Yeah, hard west.
Okay, so this sucks, yes, for a lot of the teams that are not in, but there's actually a pretty decent amount of terrain to play on foot. The problem for most of the teams is TM, Tokyo Manji Gang, is actually taking this really wide, not really wide split, but this really elevated split, and they can pretty much see a lot of those pockets that the teams might want to play in. So look for them to farm some damage.
Yeah, I'm also got my eyes on the very southern and eastern edge here, really. I mean, you got all these teams down to the east that have to make their way in. But, I mean, Sonics, BBB, T8, Wildcard, they've got no real reason to move just yet. They can kind of hang out here and just farm shots at all these teams in rotation. Dodge, I mean, they're outside of circle, and they're on the western side rather here, so they're going to be taking shots at T8, who is trying to reposition here into a little bit of a 2-2 here. Synergy once again 4 deep in the whip as they just are having all the types of troubles finding vehicles, it seems like, or they're just comfortable riding 4 deep. Who knows?
I mean, that's a risk, but they are doing it. They're driving straight past Sonics and BBB territory right now as we see them cutting through. Pippa, everyone's lives are literally in your hands. You gotta, I mean, it's nerve-wracking. I never used to drive. I would always let Los or Micro drive. I hated driving. And this is it. Oh, man.
Oh, they're gonna lose Benya. They'll lose the vehicle.
They're gonna survive, though.
For now,
good God, that's not it.
Oh no, the smoke's not gonna bloom in time. Danny will go down to Emmy, and there it is through the smoke. Emmy will hit him, and Synergy down in 16th place. They'll be our first casualty here in game number 4.
Yep, that was gonna be rough for any team. Unfortunately, it was Synergy, and we have more rotations coming in. It's not over yet. United, also one of those teams potentially rotating in, as Wildcard is taking shots at Yahoo, perched ever so nicely up atop this mountain.
Again, 2-2 split for Wildcard, so Waikikamuka and Nico's going to try to come over here and provide some support as quickly as they can, but Gregshot, meanwhile, has the shotty in hand as he knows to avoid the high ground here. Poonage doing work from up there. Wildcard will lose Adam to Shinboy right off the bat. And now
what
Wildcard.
What a push, man, from Yahoo, honestly. Keeping Poonage up there, yeah, and then just look at the vehicle. So good, man. Actually so good.
Well, the unfortunate thing for Wildcard here is they tried to get the trailing 2-2 over there. It looks like Nikos was able to make it, but Waikikamuka gets spotted out. Yeah, he gets kind of stuck out there. So Gregshot may be a little bit on his own here. Nico's going to try to provide some support here, but Gregshot has the shotty in hand. He'll find one. Won't get the second one, though. He's got one left in the chamber. He'll find Shinboy, switches over, but he's flashed, and he is going to go down. Good push there from Yahoo.
Hell of an attempt, but again, yes, so well played by Ho. Plating for trades, the utility was there, beautiful stuff. And actually, meanwhile, just to their west, it's actually been E United who snuck past, didn't even bother going for any sort of third party. They've snuck past to the other split of where Tokyo Maji was. They actually decided to consolidate, not try to hold that, which I think is very intelligent. And now E United has backfilled that for absolutely free. That's crazy. E United's such a good spot now.
Easy stuff for United. Well, while we were watching, the circle popped again, and it guts hard west again. So yet another hard shift dodge, finding themselves right in the dead center. They are just laughing right now as United will work their way through the mountains just above them. But a lot of teams off to the north, a lot of teams off to the east. Yahoo with a lot of work to do. Sonics on the move, as you can see, making their way just past BBB. It looks like BBB maybe we're thinking about making a move, but immediately pull out of their vehicles as soon as they hear Sonics make their way past.
And Sonics are going to make their way past, right, potentially into a kill zone. Mime very low. All these vehicles are about to take an absolute punishing amount of damage. But Mime is actually going to make it through. The problem is there's really not much for him to play in the center. Yeah, there might be a hay bale or something, but they're going to get shredded. Meanwhile, in the background, Icy Flex now has to deal with the team of Trog. And he's not going to be able to. He's going to get one, but the trade is there.
Yeah, Spicy Fish were in a situation where they were able to send one across to that gas station that you were talking about earlier, and then they get hard crashed there by Trogloditas, and now Ping Bang Boom will be the next ones up as they make the push in. Fiumba will knock Oldless very low, but he will fortunately stay alive just now. Give Bing Bang Boom a little bit of chance to reset here to take on this 4v2 against Trogloditas. And remember, Simply Matthias still alive for Spicy Fish on the other side of that hill. He's going to get spotted out by Snakers, so that's one threat down here for Bing Bang Boom.
But they still have to deal with the other two members of Trog. Meanwhile, Fiumba is still, as you said, just raining down hellfire on them. I mean, they're just getting shredded. They're slowly starting to lose armor. At the very least for Roth, he managed to actually still have full armor. Actually, all of them fairly. I thought they'd be much more shredded as far as their gear, but they're doing okay. They're actually doing okay. Sharpshot's helmet's half, but the most important thing is that they're in Circle Poro and they're 4 up.
Yeah, pretty clean right now, and we see Tickleton will go down, and actually Wildcard going to go down as well. Yahoo taking a lot of damage here from E United. As you said, they were in the perfect spot, and there you go, Flood will be the one to take out Hazelton. Or actually, Ika's going to take out Hazelton. That's going to be it for 22. The rest of Yahoo starting to get cleared out. Looks like Bing Bang Boom starting to get inclinations on making the push here against Post-Side Kill Demo. This is going to be a tough push. They got to be very, very careful about this, because the second you take a knock, you've got Fiumba with a 2-2 split. God, there goes the circle pop, and they have time to actually wait this one out here if they want.
The craziest thing to me as well is just like United, right? Like, I feel like any other team potentially would have maybe went for the third party, right? Like on that fight between Yahoo and Wildcard when they were up there. But United was just like, this is our chance, right? We're going to take this spot, and it is now the best spot in this. How many times do we see them do this, Poro?
Oh, a million. I mean, they've got 7 kills as well, so it's not like they're
exactly
lacking.
It's not like they're just driving around like avoiding these fights, right? They're still picking people off, and right now they're just sitting so pretty in this position. The circle shift was money for them. Dodge, meanwhile, though, they also have a really good spot, and Fiumba has managed to make it underneath them in that concrete kind of mini 2-story compound combo. In fact, they actually might be able to get DraftKings over there as well, and the rest of Fiumba. Fiumba, nice little spot here. Good rotation.
It was very fortunate and well timed for him as well.
Yeah, very well timed.
United was kind of caught looking off to the north, so Fiumba able to get everybody back over there without having to get that pressure from the high side. Meanwhile, here we go, Bing Bang Boom, finally making that push again. They'll find kill Demo. It's down to just Posa. You see Oldest getting a little bit of health taken away by those Molotovs. Posa just hiding off in the distance here. Roth going to lead in with the Molotov.
He knows exactly where he is. The double mollies.
He's going to throw it right in his face. There you go. He's going to go down. Roth should get knocked, but that's an easy res.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. And they are now going to take that compound. The problem is the circle, Poro, is once it shifts, there's nothing to play in the middle. Like, there is quite literally nothing but a few hay barrels and like some broken down awnings, I guess you can call them.
What a rotation from Young Kings here, actually. They managed to get all
that worked out.
Across the wide open field. Dodge, Sonics, T8 all had angles onto that. Shots came through, but no knocks came through here. Is now Tokyo Manjigan going to try to do the same thing, but they're going to crash right into Dodge here. They want the fight. They go 4 deep. They're going to lose Juarez right off the bat here as Finna will hold the line here. Zealot going to push through.
What a flash.
Nice flash coming through from Finna as he gets Zealot. Can he get another
Finna for 2?
Finna is on fire. He takes 3 down. It's down to just Colton for TM, and he's got 1 HP to his name. Hikerman doing work from the window. Can he get the flushes here? Colton, not even time to go for the heal. Dodge, what a hold on the long building.
What an absolutely heroic hold there from Finna. Beautiful flash, beautiful peaks. I mean, he is the reason that they won that fight. That was very well played. Very well played from Finna.
Finna picking up huge kills there, and he is stepping up in a big way. All 4 going into his pocket. It was
massive.
Dodge gets not only the compound, but a nice little loot infusion, and they will keep eyes on Sonics, as I think Sonics down to just win, as he is trying to make his way desperately across this wide open field, unfortunately for him. And all he's got is smokes, and Ethan will be the one to put the last bullet in. Snakers had eyes on it as well, but
it's just one of those games where you're just like, yeah, it is what it is. You know, they had a good position in the first circle. First shift went away from them, second shift away from them. Went for a play, didn't work out. It is what it is. It's happened to many teams in the past. It's going to continue to happen in the future.
It'll happen again, I'm sure. Yep. The circle shift did pop, and it is going to center up, which is bad news for T8. They already tried to send Tater and Hooligan down to the shack. They have lost Zenny. Palix still in the compound behind. Bing Bang Boom also has to get on the move. They've got to cross the street. United, meanwhile, just get to hold on to their high ground spot here. There's nobody really in a position to pressure them. Dodge, while they're on the move, they're going to take the fight over to Young Kings.
Snakers gonna find 1 hit, 2. And he's gonna find the knock on Palix as well. And BBB just got absolutely devastated from the hill. Just E United is farming the rest. Like I said, there's nothing to really play here in this circle. So E United is just sitting at the top of this, 10 kills, just farming this lobby.
Oh man, E United could end up, they might end up with 20 at this at the rate this thing is going.
They might.
They're gonna find Hooligan, they're gonna find Tater.
That's gross.
There's a lot of those kills that they actually got off of Bing Bang Boom were initially knocks from Fiumba that were stolen away. So unfortunately for Fiumba there, they're gonna lose out on a couple of points. Snakers realizing what's going on.
They could
the grenade.
They could underhand nades on top of Young Kings Pro and just completely wipe them out. But Snakers might find one, just underhand it. Yes. Yes.
Oh, big plays coming all over the map here. Sharp shot will go to. Did he just put it in his pocket?
So clean.
Just
another one.
Unfortunate there. The Molly not going to follow it up there. But Bing Bang Boom does go down eventually. But Sharp Shot, for his part, was down to solo. Managed to take away 2 from Fiumba. So now Fiumba down to just a duo. Young Kings just holding off Dodge for as long as they can here. They've managed to stay 3 up, but they've taken a few knocks. They are bruised. They are battered, but they are still there.
As rough as it is, I think, oh man, I think Dodge's best potential play, if they want to win this game, would probably be to try to push United, but it's such a tall task, especially with the way that they're set up, right? Alternatively, they could try to push Young Kings, get points, and then just kind of tuck underneath, but it's a tough one for Dodge. They're still in circle. They don't have to make a decision yet, but United just has so much control.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, it just feels like nothing anybody can do here. United with that high ground, Dodge is just, I mean, you can
focusing
see
this bottom team is not bad, you know, all things considered.
I mean, there's nothing really you can do about Dodge right now. I mean, if they want to push off, if they want to take the fight here, if they want to get these points off of Dodge, they're going to have to leave their high ground position. Which why would you really at this point? I mean, Dodge sitting on 5 kills right now. You can see Flood just kind of keeping an eye on that backside, making sure that nobody from Dodge gets any ideas about pushing uphill. But it looks like Dodge realizes the situation, and I think their best shot here might be to just take that fight straight to Young Kings.
Does Dodge not have any more utility? Like,
I think they burned
throwables?
through it all.
Yeah. I figured that's kind of been the case. Because if they had nades, I mean, that's at least a free knock or two for them.
Yeah, you can see what
Yeah,
they're
they
working
don't.
with
They
down
don't.
there. They got a
That
couple,
mollies, though.
Yeah, Gotts has a couple of mollies. He's going to use one right now as he sends it over the top. Kickstart actually
Kick's
going to
gonna
be the
get
one. As oh no,
They can't
every
push.
Time,
Yep.
Every time they step away, just inches away from that cliff, they get immediately
And look at
roasted
Flood.
by E United.
Flood's actually making the rounds. This is why I thought the best play is for them to just go for the push, see if they can make it happen. But right now, Dodge is playing more for the placements, right? Making sure they at the very least get second, which again, it's a safer play. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not sure it's going to lead to victory.
They're waiting for E United to play their hand here.
Wait, oh, Flood should be able to get back up. Oh, but that circle's going to hurt, man. He might not have time. Yeah, Flood is going to have to commit. He took too long.
Keep an eye on Flood. It looks like he's going to go down to the
He
south.
has to commit.
Finna's keeping an eye back there, and if Dodge, if he catches Dodge unawares here, he might be able to do some damage.
He's not going to have time.
He's not going to have time. He's going to find one. Can he find two?
That's enough.
That's enough. It's going to open up a little bit here, and actually, who got the... Finna flushed his own player. Oh, no. That's unfortunate.
I don't think he was going to get him up. I think he just wanted to kill him. I think he wanted to kill him, flush him, so he could get the meds off him quick without having to deal with blue. No, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for Dodge, but, they do keep 3 up here as they now have to push right into white. Cuz and Young King.
That angle's
Psycho's already down.
not great.
Cuz is just stuck in here, and look at this. United, they're doing everything.
Though.
He's doing all the work for him. And now,
no, Snickers!
Not like this. He gets a little bit too ambitious. And now Relo's down as well. It's just 1v1 kickstart versus Ikuz for the... Actually,
no
wait.
way.
It's a 1v1.
It's 1v1. Yes. It's 4 solos at this point.
Oh, Finna takes out Ikuz just barely. As Fiumba, we forgot all about DraftKing. No, Finna will go down to the blue, and now DraftKing.
That nade actually might end the game. Oh, it was a flash.
Oh, boy. I don't think DraftKing has anything left in his pocket.
Yeah, if that was a nade, that was game. That's crazy. If that was a nade, that was game. That was perfect.
Okay. Well, let's see what DraftKing can do. United's going to have to push down here. You can see the circle.
17
away
kills.
from the cliff.
4-0.
17 kills in the bag already for E United. 8 for Relo himself.
That's an IGL, by the way.
That's an IGL. IGLs don't have to frag, by the way, right?
They don't, but when they do, it's damn impressive.
8 kills with 558 damage.
We have some really talented IGLs, obviously, in North America. I can name Quinn, I can name Relo, I could name Purdy, right? Poonage. Like there's been so many talented IGLs.
Just a ton of them. Well, United playing this exactly how they should, as they are just seeing if they could get anything off of these bodies. Probably not a whole lot to get there, as those guys were beaten and broken by the time they got to where they are. But not risking giving DraftKing 2 1v1s. They are pushing as a duo. DraftKing, meanwhile, waiting for E United to make a mistake as he hugs the cliffside.
I mean, the worst case scenario is they give him 2 1v1s, right? But I highly doubt that's going to be the case. United is one of the best teams when it comes to trades.
Absolutely.
And I imagine they would continue that here. But, I mean, it's very doable. I'm not counting DraftKing out. He can get one slick knock and then just go for another. I think he saw them. Oh, God. He's trapped.
Well, we spotted him out, and they spotted him. Okay. Now he's in a little bit more trouble.
He's got to play this hill. Yep, this ridge is this is it. He's got to go for it here.
Here come the flashbangs. The progression of flashbangs immediately comes through. Nice try from DraftKing, but in the end, it's going to be another win for E United as they collect, what is it, 17 kills?
18 kills. 18 kills total, and the W. The W. So that's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points,
28
man.
points.
That's a lot of points for a team that was already in the lead to get blessed like that. with the high ground. I mean, everything just played out perfectly for them. But, you know, sometimes that happens for teams where you just everything plays out perfectly for you, and all that's left for you to do is to pick up all the points you possibly can off of it, and that's exactly what United did.
Yeah, they did exactly what they needed to, and it all stemmed from that rotation, right? They didn't take any third-party fights, which they had the opportunity to do if they wanted to. They skirted underneath. They went right to where they knew it was clean. They had scouted that. They knew no one was there, and they were pretty slow about it. Actually, I'm not sure if they 100% knew that it was clean, but the way they approached it was very, very intelligent. And they just farm, man. But I really also want to give a shout out to Dodge, specifically Finna. Finna really impressed me with that play. It was a beautiful wipe on Tokyo Manji Gang. And the fact that they got those kills and they were able to stay alive for that long, I think was very much based on the back of him. So huge shout out to Finna and Dodge.
Extremely clean 1v4 for Finna.
Yeah.
I mean, he got a little bit of support from his team just in the form of shots and forcing them to move around. But really, really good stuff for Finna. Really good stuff from Dodge. But again, fantastic stuff from United. A lot to talk about with that one. We'll let the analyst desk take over that, but we're going to take a quick break. Before we do, want to let you know once again that PCS7 registration is open now. So go to na.pubgesports.com, register your team for those PCS7 open qualifiers. They start on August 10th. So make sure you sign your team up now for your chance at PGC points and a share of $250,000. Godspeed. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, our analyst desk will break down everything we saw from that big United win.
All clear on the roof. Heading back down.
Roger. Hurry up. We need to move.
Just make sure I don't take a bullet in the back.
Looking good. Keep it steady.
I hear footsteps. I got a bad feeling.
Enemy spotted. Move! Move!
You're going up next time.
There won't be a next time.
With one game left to play today and still over a week and a half of games to go, I still feel like I should just write a check to E United for 12.5 thousand because these guys look unstoppable.
It's a problem. They're figuring out, okay, let's be real. We've had a theme of verticality in our games today.
Yes.
And E United knows how to exploit it. This is where they find their greatest strengths. They know how to do a later rotation, and they know how to scout an approach into a high ground. And it's just coming up big. And I mean big. Like, we just got the damage total so far. 8,178 damage just in 4 games. That is absolutely insane. 46 kills. 46. Ain't no ratting happening here.
Let that sink in for a second, ladies and gentlemen, as we go back for the highlights.
Okay, so the second we saw this opening circle, there was a little bit of expectation of the early game being slow, which it absolutely was. The circle being central as it was allowed so many different teams to try and find these initial positions, but when it shifted on to where it eventually ended with E United blowing everyone up, there was also a lot of open space, a lot of big giant fields in play, which made it difficult for the teams on the low ground, like BBB here, to like make it from one building to the next, one compound to the next. And that also only elevated United's high ground power, high ground potential, because like towards the end, we really did see them just laser anyone and everyone who to try and find even just like the smallest little position in those fields in the flat ground.
That's all of the firefights that we're watching up until this stage. Is there is a compound. It is the only thing in the circle other than the other compounds, so we're going to fight for it. Dodge, again, finding their firefighting legs and being much stronger in their coordination on these fights. Like, Tokyo Manji Gang had an idea, but it just could not develop with a strong defensive line coming up from Dodge. And yeah, there is a giant hill in the background with E United kind of watching stuff, but it's all about trying to figure out how to navigate, which I believe that you and Toffees were talking about, more of an Erangel circle in a mirror market.
Now, I will say, TMG, what they did focus playing into Dodge like that, there was another team that could have made that decision but decided to go a different route, and that was Young Kings, who instead swooped just past and found themselves ultimately a valuable dip just below United. That does play into their playstyle, where coming from the qualifiers, Young Kings had the highest placements, not points, but just the actual placement itself. Unfortunately, they weren't really able to convert many of those to a win, which is why they came second in placement points, because we all know how valuable that jump from second to first is in points overall. But nonetheless, they were able to sort of rat out, get into the podium position, and they made it quite close, actually.
I mean, it feels like gravity was the greatest threat for E United, all considered, as we did end up in this 1v1v1v1 situation, but with E United getting their res. And remember, DraftKings did throw a flashbang right up on top of E United, so got a read for him, but just didn't have enough to throw out. He had a Molotov, but that wasn't going to get it. All in all, E United just, they train advantage, realizing how to manipulate it, and 18 kills. Damn, 28 points in the game is nuts.
They had to be lucky, but they also had to be sly to win that cliffhanger of a game. I was very impressed with them. But honestly, at this point, with 73 points, Cameron, it's starting to feel like they're going to be the champs. It's not Rocky. If anything, their creed is just victory.
Listen, this is a 30-game series, right? Like, the damage leaders, of course, they're going to be United, but we do want to acknowledge that United have had above average favor when it comes to the circle shifting. So the question is, will these numbers stay as they have been when things hopefully, expectedly, sort of start to even out? What's going to happen when they're not given the shift? We saw that happen in game 1, where they admittedly still got a bunch of kills, but every other game since then, they've been able to play towards the center. And even if that is going to be your premier preferred style, you're not going to get it every single time.
I mean, that's a fair question, Matt. Do you think it holds? Is this E United's event?
Dude, I just got to say, we were like giving them some cheerleading because they got 77 points across 6 games the last time they played. They're at 77 or 73 in 4 right now. I mean, this is their event, at least for these first couple of days.
Well, let's get into the final game of the day. It's your casters who can maybe answer the question, who stops E United? It's Porosaurus and Godspeed.
Ooh. Thank you, sir. And who stops E United? I mean, time. Time and E United. seems to be the only two things that can stop United at this point. I mean, 4 games through, man, they are popping the heck off. But here we go. Okay, Godspeed. Immediately, this is what we were looking at. The Fiumba wildcard hot drop over in Power Station. This time it's actually going to play out.
And it doesn't surprise me that they waited for the very last game of the day to make this happen, right?
See,
Like, just to see.
Looks like he spotted somebody out from range
Sight
here.
mini.
Circle will pop, and we are going to go hard down south. So this one is actually inside circle for the time being, so it does have time to play itself out here. Now, keep in mind, something that we did see during scrims was other teams coming in here to try to third party what was left of this fight. So I think both Wildcard and Fiumba well aware of the fact that they can't take their time with this. They've got to come to a head pretty quickly.
Well, I also like that the fact that they've decided to wait until game 6 again.
Or 5.
They've waited, or sorry, basically, game 6 scrims or game 5.
End of the day.
End of the day to do this hot drop. Yeah, it totally makes sense, right? They have many more days to play, and they want to make sure that they can at very least get their drop on Miramar without having to deal with too much contention, which they absolutely are right now. But back to the United point as well, they are obviously playing really well. That last game was nuts, getting 28 points, but it's still super early. And I don't think United is going to average 70 points a day every day. So there is definitely time for other teams to catch up. They do have an egregious lead on the rest of the pack, and they very well may hold it, but I don't think it's over just yet. Still very early.
No. We don't want to write off anybody at this point. You're not going to catch me writing off Sonics this early. I mean, obviously United definitely.
Their lead is nuts.
The
yeah, their lead is nuts, and they're.
I mean, they got more points in one game than 7 through 14 have so far through 4.
But we will see how it plays out. Still, this fight here, man. I mean, this. Gregshot's surprisingly kitted for a hot drop.
I mean, yeah.
He's got a mini with like a 6 or 8x, and he's got a 3x canted on his M4. Not bad. Meanwhile, Waikikamuka's working with 18 bullets reserve in his AK there with iron sights. I hate AK iron sights. I actually can't stand AK iron sights.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Well, and the other thing here is, I think one of the things, even if Fiumba doesn't even play this fight out, right? What this is psychological warfare. It's letting Wildcard know that throughout the rest of the tournament, at any point, we could hot drop you. And, we could take the fight to you. We might not necessarily do it this time, but just know that we are ready and willing to do it at any time. So you always have to be thinking about that.
Absolutely. And I think this is smart. I don't know if Fiumba really commits to this, because I feel like Wildcard actually got really decent loot, right? They took that massive brick building in the back. There's a lot of loot, good armor in there. Obviously, we saw Gregshot is pretty kitted, all things considered. But it also only takes 1 knock from Fiumba, right? Even though they are somewhat less geared, we saw no helmet at all on one of the players on their side.
Looks like Wildcard
still has to be careful.
Yeah, they're still very interested in pushing this. As you can see, Adam looks like he spotted something out there, and
they're containing him.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the north side here. You see it now on the mini map. Look at Finna.
Finna
starting to creep over here. Dodge starting to creep over here, and there you go. Hikerman going to find DraftKings from range, and this is what we were talking about. The third party that could come in at any time. These guys have to be quick about this fight if they're going to do it.
And the reason why they weren't is Dodge probably shouldn't have been here this close, right? But because of the fact that this is still in circle, both teams, I feel like, or at the very least, Fiumba felt a false sense of security just in the fact that they weren't going to get pushed by a third-party team here, and that's exactly what's happened.
Oh, Finna has... Nico's actually going to find Ribo XD, the knock with the VSS, and immediately gets traded out by Capitan.
Yeah.
If Finna would have spotted that out, that would have been a free point on a knock Nikos, but he's still creeping around here. Yeah, you can see the rest of Dodge now on the north side starting to make their way over. Is Waikikamuka going to push with the DBS? Not even going to get a chance to shoot it as Capitan on fire here. Wildcard now down to just Gregshot and Adam, but Adam going to go down to Capitan. Fiumba not going down without a fight.
And this is mutually assured destruction for these two teams. Meanwhile, it's just 3 points for Dodge. Dodge is coming in now to clean up. What a devastating third party this has been, and very effective. Again, Dodge playing so well today.
Absolutely. I mean, like they knew that this was going to happen. They knew that they could keep an eye on this as soon as they saw the hot drop. I mean, they could see it while they were shooting down. I mean, where Dodge loots, this is a pretty easy spot out for them. So they knew that the hot drop had come through. So all they had to do was just kind of bide their time, wait a little bit, keep an eye on things, and now they could just come in and sweep in and take whatever free kills there are left off of all these knocked wild card members. Greg shot the only one remaining, and actually it looks like Dodge, they're just going to go ahead and pull away. They've got what they needed.
They absolutely, they got the points. And here's the other, you want to talk about psychological warfare, here's the other issue with this is now anytime Wildcard or Fuma do decide to third party again, they have to worry about Dodge. Dodge obviously showed that they're willing to come in and clean up, and that's something that if I'm hot dropping, I'm like, man, okay, we already have to deal with Fuma, but hey guys, be careful. Dodge might come over and crest this, you know what I mean? It's not worth it in my opinion. I think one of those teams just gives, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if look, Wildcard has a lot riding on this tournament, especially given the fact that LG Luminosity did not make it to the finals. Wildcard stands to gain so much in the terms of PGC points that they cannot really afford to be messing around with this. So we'll see how they decide to work this through. Obviously, got plenty of time to decide. Before even tomorrow, really. But lots of things to think about for sure.
It's a prime location to give up, though. I get it. I understand why they're fighting for it. You know, I'm not at all hating on it. It's just you gotta taking those early fights, especially for a very contested spot like Power Grid, it's going to come with inherent risks, and the risk is a potential third party from a very aware and very smart Dodge.
Oh, come on, Pat. Come on, Pat, with the 2.
I mean, he's hitting some shots there.
Look at him. He sees everything. This man's got vision. I'm telling you. I can't even see the guys he's shooting. Well, okay,
he's shooting at ants
a little bit. He's shooting at the little ants there with the 2x. Now he's shooting.
And he's taking.
He's mad that he didn't get the knock, so he's gonna practice the range there.
So it's a rude move, but I would do the same. I would do the same. If I saw someone running a distance for a vehicle, I absolutely take those tires. There's no shot I do, but yeah,
100%.
Super rude though. Super rude.
I mean, you know. This is what it is. You're in the grand finals, man.
It's the world we're living in, baby.
It's the world that we live in. Looks like Balefrost actually going to see if he can maybe take out Coda Kid, or at least Coda Kid's tires, as just too easy on the long wrap down to the south. They're actually pushing real close to Poonage.
They're trying to wrap south.
Yeah, Poonage going to hop in the vehicle. I think he's getting fed this information that the Just Too Easy boys are wrapping a little bit closer to him, so
they're going to try to cut him off.
Yeah, well, they got some problems to worry about themselves, because Yahoo is not inside the circle, and Short Circuit Gaming kind of in a good spot to do a little gatekeeping on that southeastern edge if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean that is the risk, right, of this play. They could technically gatekeep Just Too Easy, potentially get 4 points out of them. Well, hopefully not taking any casualties, but yeah, they too need to get in circle. Luckily, I don't think Short Circuit Gaming is going to hold that edge. I think they're going to try to come in the south and actually get a better position.
Oh, with the last round, Poonage going to find one. They'll get at least 1 point off of Just Too Easy. As Haditha will go down, and well, the camp got something, and that is a successful camp in the world of Yahoo right now.
Short Circuit, I think you're right. Short Circuit actually might just try to camp this this southern road.
Yeah, they've regrouped. They've pushed down a little bit. They're right at the intersection now. I think they may have heard some of the shots.
They actually 100% are, because 300 former, well, now SG, but former 300 always just love camp, right? They set up these traps, so this doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, Nefahor just feeding that information over to the rest of the boys, letting them know, like, is there anything you want us to know about you? Yeah, I'm lit. Thank you, Extreme. Wise words. And now you all know,
baby.
chat. Oh my God,
what
the
a
shift
for the last game. Oof.
All right. SCG, they stand to gain a lot right here if they can find a way to pull this camp off. As Neff feeding that intel over to the rest of the boys, and wait, look at it, Just Too Easy actually pulling away. Maybe he's springing the trap a little too early.
No, I think this is pretty much what they're sandwiched between Yahoo as well. And this is like, this is one of those situations where Just Too Easy did nothing wrong. They tried to rotate fairly early. They tried to take a safe route all the way on the East Coast to this is a fairly standard rotation. It's not that they made a bad choice. It's just there's two teams gatekeeping them from getting out. There is no shot they make it out alive unless by some miracle Short Circuit Gaming and Yahoo decide to leave them alone.
Kalnick's a pretty impressive player in his own right. He's by himself now, but we could see if he might be able to take somebody with him, if nothing else. But SCG, I mean, for all the concern they are about finishing off Kalnick's here, they've also got to worry about Yahoo, as you said.
Yep.
They're still kind of hovering
And
around.
And they absolutely know that they're above them, right? So they're going to have to make a play regardless.
Yeah, I lost track of the fourth for Yahoo here. Shimboy's still in the blue, eating a little bit of that damage. I think he was trying to maybe see if he can find an angle from the backside. Kalnick's getting pushed here by Richie B. He's going to find one, but Richie will get them trade, and they'll be able to get the res back onto Vox. So Short Circuit Gaming pick up 3 for their efforts here in the bridge camp.
That's good points, but they do need to be somewhat wary, as you said, of Yahoo. I mean, they have a free rotation to the south if they can get to it, but no, that's going to be a second knock now. Richie B not doing so well himself as far as health is concerned. Now, Yahoo, do they want to pursue this, or do they potentially just want to try to get in?
I mean, they're all in vehicles, and they're all kind of stopping and going and stopping and starting. So we'll see what happens. Icy Flex going to spot out Synergy. Not
Takes
gonna
the
be able
tire.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get Danny from the roof. Oh, actually going to have to pop out. But here we go, cutting back. Sparking has the high ground here, but SCG avoiding the line of sight for the time being. Will lose Extreme, though.
Yeah, and the campers got kind of camped. that was the risk, and you were talking about it the whole time, Poro. And unfortunately, it did not work out for SCG, although they did get 3 of those kills from just too easy. They lost, I believe, 3 themselves, or at the very least 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, they lost 2 in that camp.
Truck came out of nowhere. Well, Sparky should be okay, and Yahoo should be actually pretty happy about this. They end up with 3, and they are making their way in. They're just underneath E United here, but E United with their own problems. As I'm not sure if
kick like those, that's terrifying.
I think Flood may have gotten disconnected, and that's why they took him out to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. But they still have time to sit here and do a few Overwatch shots towards Yahoo. Unfortunately, it's just going to be hitting the roofs right now.
I mean, it's a decent amount of damage, though. He did cause one. I think Poon had to pull off because his tires got popped and he got completely sent off course. But he should be. Yeah, he has no vehicle now. Are they leaving Poon? They might have to.
Yeah, it might be the case here as we cut over back towards just north of Idamar, T8 in a little bit of a split.
Another crazy shift. What in the world?
Man, the hard shift to the west followed immediately by the hard shift to the east. That is brutal stuff, but Sonic's looking nice in the dead center here.
So this like ravine, like this is probably one of the most difficult circles to play, just because if you pick the wrong side, crossing into that giant ravine, that ditch, that road it's incredibly difficult to make it on the other side if you choose wrong. This one is leading towards the east, so I imagine it would pull that way, but teams like T8, Tokyo Manjin, if this stays on the west side, it's going to be really tricky for those teams.
And Dodge trying to make their way through under the hail of fire from Tokyo Manji Gang. They'll take a lot of damage, but they'll get through pretty cleanly. They still have Finna and Hikerman off to the north, and Ladria that still have to make their way in. And Bing Bang Boom posted up 4 deep just off to their east in that compound. As kind of keeping an eye on the west on that high ground. Tokyo Manji Gang has that north side as Zealot. Ooh, where are you going, buddy?
It was planned. It was perfectly
planned.
planned.
Easy peasy. T8 looks like they're going to take over the southern part of that high ground. 22, meanwhile, pulled out of the valley and are wrapping back around through Vidamar. But there's not really a whole... Well, actually, they got something to play. So, okay, 22 actually should be in a decent spot here, as everybody just trying to find a place to call home in this new circle here. It looks like Flood, we have him back, and E United looks like they're able to reset.
On United, yeah, they still have to deal with Yahoo, though, potentially right underneath him. Yep, and Snakers is aware. 4X on, ready for those pretty disgusting 4X sprays from Snaker, as we've become so accustomed to at this point. But even still, this is a really good position to fight for as well, even though it is on the edge. Again, this edge, the ones that E United generally pick are the ones that they can easily move in foot from after they clear it, and that's exactly what they want to do here. Yahoo is the team, though, that they have to clear. This is going to be a tough fight for both teams, I believe.
Oh, it's rough.
Oh, what
Snakers.
a turn. Shin.
Amazing turn from Shimboy there. Quick flicks will take Snakers down, and now United down to 3. They're a little bit farther removed here as Snickers was just kind of unintentionally the anchor there, just based off of how Yahoo rotated in. But Shimboy playing the low side of the hill. You can see Flood just off in the distance, keeping an eye to make sure nobody comes from the lower side. Now Yahoo grouping back again to push uphill.
And I'm pretty sure Snickers is done for, correct?
Oh yeah, Snickers gone.
There's no chance they were able to get that res, right?
He is outie. Yep. Yeah, he was completely surrounded, just in a bad spot, just based off of how Yahoo crashed onto him. As United just kind of left to salvage whatever they can, but they are getting shot. It looks like they're taking shots in the back from Synergy maybe here, so Flood needs to be a little bit careful about how hard he pushes in. You can see Yahoo actually taking some damage from somewhere.
I think it's Spicy Fish. Potentially, I think it's Moody and Icy. Yeah,
they've got the high ground right here from Spicy Fish just off to the west. You can't really see it from this angle, but a number of shots coming through, and I think Synergy actually joining in, as you can see Pippa scoped in. So maybe good fortune here for E United, as the push from Yahoo going to have to slow down. Actually, Flood going to find Shimboy. Shimboy maybe getting a little bit too close, but now we got Tokyo Maji Gang and Dodge right on top of each other here. Cutting back over to Flood. We'll try to flush out Shimboy. He's going to pay the price, though, as Balefrost will trade him out. And now Balefrost and Sparking in the U.S. just trying to make their way through, driving by. It's actually 3 deep in the U.S.
Bronco, in that Bronco, yeah.
Oh, Bronco, yeah, I'm sorry. U.S. I'm on the wrong map, boys. As Rello and Kickstart now trying to hold off, but Kickstart's got that Groza in hand, running low on ammo, though.
And yeah, this has all started to kind of fall apart, but I mean, the hats off to Yahoo. The way that they've pushed this, the way that they split this fight has been beautiful. They are taking damage, though, still. United is not done. Kick gonna find a knock with a molly, but it's now just down to Relo. What can he do? It's possible. If he can isolate some one-on-ones, he can get it, but the flash is out. And here comes the crest. Oh, he's getting some help. Yahoo's getting shot in the back. That's one.
Relo.
That's
one. Poonage. Yep, there we go. 1v1 versus Sparking. Sparking getting shot in the back,
and it's
though.
Moody.
Is now Rello is going to get... Oh, Moody's going to get spotted out. Does Relo... Oh, he doesn't see him. He doesn't see Sparking. He knows he's around here somewhere.
Yeah, he's prone.
Oh, no. Sparking strikes like a viper. And that'll be it for E United. But Yahoo, they lose damn near everybody themselves.
Yeah, basically everyone.
Mutually assured destruction between 2 of our top teams in the lobby. And that is good news for everybody that's on the chase, because E United is out early.
And Tig has gone down. He's going to get revived here in this fight over at Wildcard. This is the top side of Chimicera. But Sonics is holding the edge. Sonics is holding probably the best part of this, right? Like they're sitting on the southwest side, it's closer to the center circle, and they can hold out all the other teams that are trying to push in from the north.
And doing their best right now. Short circuit game. We're going to try to deal with 22, but good spray from Hayes 10. We'll find 1. He gets Vox, but not before Vox takes out his teammate Haven. The smoke wall will come down. Try to go for that res. Good grenades will keep Richie B from pushing any further. Dean Zera going to be holding the line here at the edge of the smoke wall while the blue starts to creep in. Haven't gone for the res just yet onto Haven. 22 doing a good job to make sure that they take care of the threat before going for the revive.
Threat there was, but still 22 holding strong to this position. But the problem is that shift is no longer good for them, right? They can work up this, but they're going to have to go through the team of Young Kings, who has a pretty strong foothold in the circle, but also BBB. BBB can rotate in fairly free from the west here, but Huyn is just firing down Keenan in a forward position in the circle, but he's just in the shack. He can't really help.
Yeah, Huyn making himself real big right now. Yep. Just with that high ground.
Huge.
Just ADR farming down onto everybody, just kind of forcing their rotations here. As and 1 FPS will find 22. Will take a few shots, won't get the knock. Gets Vinny very low. Actually, Vinny just revived. Hasn't even had a chance to heal just yet. Good grenade coming in from Haven. Does a little bit of damage. The rest of Young Kings come to provide some support.
Very isolated, though. I mean, yeah, that support is coming in the form of nades, but yeah, and 1, I feel like he went a little too far on his own. He got the information. He probably should have pulled back.
And now Young Kings by his own teammate. Now Spicy Fish here. The drama going on. They'll find RDS, and 1 will get flushed out by 22 as Hayes 10 making sure there's no snakes creeping up on their backside here.
I don't
Rest
think
of the boys.
That's what Haston is doing. I think he's
You think he got stuck?
Yeah.
Maybe fell off there. Taking a few shots from Spicy. Moody making himself real big. He's doing a lot
Moody's
of
been a
damage here on a
menace.
22.
Moody has been a menace to multiple teams so far.
Well, the Spicy Fish basically taking over that spot that H-Win was in earlier. And, I mean, you could see that H-Win had a beautiful view down onto this. Is RDS coming up big? He's going to find 3 of 22. The only one survive is Hayes 10, who fell down and basically was not able to be there with the rest of his team. But RDS, what a huge play from him.
Yep, huge play from RDS, potentially saving Young Kings here, excuse me. But Hayes 10 now just trying to get out of the blue. Oh, he's so low. He has 5 bandages, Poro. That's it.
5 bandies.
5 bandies, no boosts.
Doesn't even have a dream at this point. he's that broke. Can't even afford a dream. As looks like Moody, I don't know if they took shots or if maybe spotted out the rest of our final duo from Yahoo here. Remember, Sparking had that clutch finish onto E United, was able to get the res onto Balefrost. So Yahoo back up to 2, but they have to deal with Synergy over on the southeastern side, actually the hard south side. And right off the bat, Benja gonna find Sparking.
He's gonna get traded out though. Rusty Zero is gonna find that knock and flush on a Benja from Rusty. Again, here comes Hayes. He's gonna find the knock, but even if he, even if he got that, the blue was gonna take him out. But what a shot! What an attempt! The 22 is gonna be out now.
Moody with 715 damage.
I was gonna ask
and
how much
1
damage he had.
Holy moly! This kid is ADR farming from the high ground, but is not getting paid for it here. Nice spray from Pippa.
The blue
kill demo, but the blue is gonna take him off before he can get back in. That's unfortunate for the Synergy fragger here. Sparking just looking like free food on the plate there. That's a nice little point. 9 kills for Yahoo. Despite all the struggles they've been through this game, they are just stacking up points.
10 kills still, yeah. The fact that they are salvaging the hell out of this game is impressive enough, but doing it as a duo is even more so. But Sparking and Bale, I mean, those are 2 players that would not have minding clutch for me.
Absolutely not. One of the things I've been really keeping an eye on, we haven't gotten to see it so far, but Balefrost has been just disgusting with 6x M4 sprays.
Yep.
I
think most of the Yahoo boys
behold.
like to do the 6x spray.
It has just been so fun to watch them, guys. But the 6x sprays from these guys have been absolutely insane lately. As you see, Sonic's finally starting to show up there. They have dead center circle. Nobody has really kind of revealed themselves, so that will be their first kill picked up. But they have great position. They've got all 4 up. They've got a nice little track in the late game. We'll see if they can pick up a little bit more.
The only thing Sonics really has to worry about is getting crested right from dead center, but no one's really going to do that. BBB has to deal with Spicy Fish. Spicy Fish has to deal with BBB as well as Yahoo down in the south. So yeah, Sonics is just, they're chilling, and then they can just foot push up that hill as soon as they need to. So this is a very strong game for Sonics.
Well, Bing Bang Boom had 4 up until Moody spotted out Keenan, took him out, and there you go. Yahoo's going to get taken out as well.
A strong game from Spicy Fish so far too, Poro. Like really strong game from them.
Absolutely. Spicy Fish looking real nice. They unfortunately will lose 1. But we've seen what Moody's been pulling out here so far. I mean, he's probably sitting over 800 damage at this point.
Yep.
As Posa from Troglodytes, the last player alive for Trog, trying to make his way through what's left of this mining town of Chumaseri. Spots out Silzen. The spray comes through. There you go.
Nice.
Big kill there for Posa, as Troglodytes will manage to salvage at least 1 more point from this round.
And more importantly, placement too. He's top 5 now. That was a big kill. It was a very big kill for him. But Sonics, again, yeah, Sonics is just sitting, and they are going to be able to take over the rest of the circle while Spicy Fish tries to hold off BBB on the south.
Heck of a day for Troglodytes so far. Good enough to put him in 3rd place overall, as we see if Posa can manage to scrape anything else out of this one. As we check in with Sonics, 3 kills now. That was 0 just moments ago, but now everything's starting to fall down into them, funnel down in, and they are collecting. As they have remained 4 strong, they have a pretty clear path up the hill.
Yep.
But they do have to be concerned about Spicy Fish and Bing Bang Boom.
I'm very curious what Spicy Fish's play here is after this shift. Are they going to try to get a little more aggressive and clear out BBB, or they might actually just pull back and maybe let Sonics push up and take care of that threat?
just blessed there for Spicy Fish. Problem for them is that it's the E United situation from last game all over again, isn't it? I mean, Bing Bang Boom, they've got some room to work with here, but they've got to be careful about Spicy Fish's angles.
They do not want to get crusted. That would be devastating.
Yeah, meanwhile, I mean, nobody looking over towards Sonics just yet. But Sonics, I think they just kind of want to hold their line here and clean out whatever else is coming out of Chuma. I mean, they know that Posa is down there. They probably have a good idea that the duo from Wildcard is where they're at. So they don't want to try to make a push or be on the side of that hill knowing that there's a threat behind them that could just backstab them at any time. They would love to take care of this first.
They want to be the only ones to make that run up, right? They don't want to have to, as you said, worry about anyone coming and backfilling them and shooting them in the back or any of that. So they are going to stay, and they still have a part of that building in, right? Oh, Posa. I was going to say, even if he dies, he's already done enough for his team, but this is just bonus. Fortunately for Spicy Fish, he's not going to be able to get that flush, but I mean, that is still a nice little knock.
I mean, we had heard some stories about the new young fragger from Trogloditas in Posa, and he is stepping up in a big way here late game at the end of day number 1. Pat Caps trying to put a little bit of pressure on a Bing Bang Boom. Simply Mac gets knocked pretty low, so he's going to have to pull off. Posa trying to stay alive here. The spray's coming through. He's got nothing but a smoke to his name. And there you go. Moody, 949 damage. Now gets his 3rd kill. Wildcard managed to get up to the hillside. Those Sonics have to
and that's Sonics, that's their key, right? They heard exactly where those shots were coming from. They know exactly where Posa died, and now they're going to push up the side. They knew that was a solo. They saw the wipe. And this is the time to strike. I mean, Sonics, they know exactly what they're doing. That's why they held as long as they did. This is a perfect play from them.
Oh, a lot of pressure on Simply Matt right
here. That's
He's
an easy knock.
Spotted out, doing the jump peek. And there you go. Mime's going to be the one that opens up the door, kicks down the door for Sonics to make their way up this hill. Pat Caps and Moody now, I think, realize that there's a potential for a push to come from their backside, so they are fully committed to trying to take this fight to Bing Bang Boom, but there's nothing really they can do. Bing Bang Boom just hiding below the cliffside, much like Dodge was doing to E United last game.
And Sonics is absolutely taking control of this game, 100%. They still have to be somewhat careful of Spicy Fish, but if they just make the push towards the top, which it looks like they're doing, they're just going to clear this out and probably clean out the rest of the teams, right? Because I don't think there's a way up on the west side. I think they have to go around. Or at least a clear way on the west side.
Yeah, Sonics, I think just figuring out where everybody is right here is now. Moody will break 1,000 damage here in game 5 as he finds another kill on a Greg shot, and everything kind of playing out nicely here for Sonics, but they would love to get some more of these points. These points are huge for them right now. As big as a win would be, they would love to be able to get it with a few more kills.
And this is huge for Spicy Fish, even if they don't win this game, which I would say they probably won't. They have gotten so many kills and put themselves in a nice position, but they're still going. They're not done yet. Pat's going to find the knock. Adam is going to steal it, though.
Adam sneaking up for Wildcard will manage to get another couple of points for his squad as the solo player. But as we see Sonics in the driver's seat, but all these points kind of going away from them, they don't really care. They'll take the 10 for placements at this point. Just get whatever you can and hope for the best. But you got to be careful. Moody with that AUG could be dangerous. We've seen Moody has been popping off this game. That is a dangerous, dangerous man.
Yeah, Moody, it's crazy because it doesn't even seem like Moody took a break or he left at all, right? I mean, he's just come back and slotted right back in a comp.
Absolutely.
In a meta that is foreign to him, right? This is not the same game that he played before. He's been away for at least a couple years, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, he is looking so damn impressive right here. Pat's still going to find Adam. That's going to be an elimination. It's down to just a 4-on-2. It's not impossible, but I have a hard time thinking that Sonics is going to throw this.
Nice flash from Moody prevents the push here as Mime going to try to make his push over the top. I think he knows exactly where he is. Moody will get him, though, and immediately traded back by Shrimsy. Good teamwork there on the part of Sonics. Now it's all down to Pat Caps. Can he get anything else off it? Looks like he spotted out H-Win. Lands one headshot. Not going to get it. And there you go. Sonics will take your win in the final game of day number 1.
And what a win it was. But again, the story was Spicy Fish and specifically Moody. The amount of damage that he was doing, not only just to the teams below him in Wildcard, right, but everywhere. He was third-partying that Yahoo fight as well with United. I mean, his damage was just ridiculous, and he was farming that lobby.
Obviously, Spicy Fish
crazy.
looking very, very comfortable there. And, you know, that's what we were talking about earlier on. The only thing that Spicy Fish doesn't have right now is reps. They haven't played together a lot as a team in these type of lobbies. So they've been grinding ranked. They've been grinding Korea ranked. They've been grinding EU ranked, just trying to get more time together as a team. And it's paying off now. We're seeing it show up here in day number 1. But at the end of the day, Sonics get the big win. And that is absolutely huge, especially considering the fact that E United went out so early.
Absolutely. And yeah, Sonics did get a little bit of circle of, but the way that they pushed out of that circle, they took complete control. Their timing, you want to talk about timing? I was asked earlier about that. I think Steve was asking me about timing. That was perfect from Sonics, right? And they did exactly what they needed to do. The hold was beautiful. I mean, they just played that perfectly, right? And they were able to finally get the points. Ending the day on a win for Sonics is always very worrying for the other teams, especially heading into the next.
Well, Sonics fans in the chat will rejoice to that one as we see another big win for their squad. But a lot of exciting stuff here. Big stories from day number 1. Leaderboard shaked out a little bit. I think maybe a little bit different than a lot of us would have thought. Big performance early on from Troglodytes.
Yes, Troglodytes were nuts, and then Fumba even was getting in the mix. A lot of things getting their licks in as far as team fights, but overall, United, hell of a day. Let's see if they can keep it up. Even with that last game not going their way, I mean, the fact that they pulled that many points is pretty crazy for a single day of play.
United, obviously the big story here at the end of the day, first day of play, but we are done for the day. We are going to throw it over to our analyst desk to talk more about everything we saw today, guys, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We'll be right here. My name's Toffees. I'm joined by Matt and Cameron as we break down the action of whenever we got some interviews, scoreboards, all that good stuff coming your way. But we got to start by talking about that match and the Sonics. Cameron, farts of that match were amazing.
Yeah, they were, but thoughts as well. When we saw that phase 2 shift go down to the southwest, I was actually very, very confident that Sonics could have a good game. They were not dead center, but they weren't so far to the edge. They could just control the industrial area of Chumacera, and that's usually where they like to play games from, where they have the biggest games. They make sure that they don't let anyone in from behind them from the blue, and then they play forward towards the center. Unfortunately for them, not many people chose to invade Chumacera, so they didn't get all the kill points. But as far as control of the terrain and of the zone, they played exactly to their usual expected win conditions, and they got themselves a chicken dinner.
Yeah and no, because like we've been seeing Sonics just kind of go on a tear. They are playing to their win conditions, but I wouldn't say they're normal win conditions. It feels like if we had seen Sonics with, I don't know, with the amount of points that E United had, you know that they would have been running down that hillside going after some kills. This time, it was a lot more measured in approach, in my opinion. And I'm not saying it's anything bad. They needed the points. They needed the win. And I 100% agree with you. My only thing is the fact that I just feel like that was a calmer game than we normally see come out of
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I think it really comes down to the fact that they might have had that first win that they thought was going to be in their pocket already stolen for them by Troglodytes, and then it was a bit of a struggle throughout the middle of the section. So playing it just a little slower, getting themselves back on track, resetting their mental, as what a lot of pro players talk about all the time, getting this actual win under the belt, and then going forward for the rest of this weekend and the next week, perhaps seeing a little more explosive versions of what we just saw.
Yeah, you said Sonic's win conditions. I don't even know what a Sonic's win condition is anymore. They got no wins in the qualifiers to get here, and they still finished at the top of the boards. These guys get whatever they can out of every single match. Let's take a look back at that one, because you know what time it is? Highlights!
Okay. I tried. Okay, that's all I can say. I'm going to look down in shame, and you can take the start of this because of it.
Yeah, I mean, the start of this was finally a hot drop. We heard whisperings, little birds talking about Fuba hot dropping, especially here on top of Wildcard, and Dodge were paying attention as well because they went in third party and they cleaned up. They dealt a lot of damage. They really ruined both those teams' games. But over here, this is something that I was hoping to see. Up until this point, United have been consistently just taking care of Yahoo. A lot of it's been happening off camera, I guess fortunately for Yahoo, but here they do get their revenge. It wasn't a super clean fight. Relo made it very, very close, down to a 1 versus 1, but at the very least, Yahoo is starting to warm up their own play, because remember, they were, to a lot of people, in the conversation with Sonics and United at the very start of this tournament.
And I think that moving into this game, they were like in 12th place, 11th place, something along those lines. Managed to string together some kills, getting some very needed points. The name of the game at the end, though, was all about Chumacera. And you can see Pippa's going to make the push around over here. And this is such a complicated area to play. I thought that he was in trouble so many different times, but he can somehow manage to make it work. Adam, in this similar case, you take what's given to you, and this time, you just got to look down one angle, pick up another one, and again, high ground is king. It's just the way today goes.
Listen, Adam saw what happened at the last match and said, you know what, I'm going to do my own smaller version of that. A little,
Oh, this made me so sad. If Pat was, if he could have gotten up this hillside faster, that distraction that Moody provided could have been enough. There was a world where SF could have turned this, but it was just too synced because of the verticality and trying to run up that hillside.
Yeah, I was really excited for the potential return of Rat Caps, but unfortunately, as you said, the timing just wasn't on their side. This little first initial peak with the ghillie suit. People talk about the ghillie suit not being as strong on Miramar, but that split second, that gave Moody a quick opening to at least drop one.
I am really enjoying Spicy Fish, though. Like, there is a lot of versatility in play whenever we look at that roster, to say the least. From the way we can see Moody getting some solos out of this, you talked about it, Rat Caps. They just have a lot of firing capabilities. I cannot wait to watch them develop.
Let's take a look at the match standings. Sonics come out on top with 16 total points in the chicken dinner. Spicy Fish actually coming in relatively close with a nice little boost for them. And really, for me, the highlight of the match, Cameron, E United finished at 14th place.
Listen, it shows just how far ahead E United are when that's the highlight. And they are still just under 30 points lead over Sonics. Like that's stupid.
To me, I just want to be clear, Matt, or for everybody at home. It's not that I dislike E United. It's that like I want it to be close.
No. Don't believe him.
We got 6 more days of action here, and we need to get this train slowed down.
We hear Steve in the green room. He absolutely hates E United.
That is not true.
He puts on a face.
He's the one that started the Rat E United rumor, from what I heard.
What?
I heard the same thing.
You guys are both being, I'm just going to say, you jerks, okay? That's mean. Wow. I love E United. I love them so much that I have invited them to come chat with us for our interview. You know, like that's how much I love E United. So without further ado, let's bring in a guy who has been an absolute high watermark when it comes to this team. It is Flood. How are you doing, sir? Glad to have you.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little mad that I disconnected in the last game, but other than that, great day. Pretty happy with the team.
Well, I'm glad they brought us a happy person for the interview. Matcham, questions?
Start off with, I will say, shout out to Cam and Poro both, who caught the fact that you DC'd and you got knocked by a teammate, I believe, and then were carried around to make sure that you didn't charge off into the distance. That kind of relates in. We always have to ask, but in this situation, E United, bro, what are you guys doing so differently? Because the last 2 days of play, from the last day of qualifier in today, you guys have been ridiculously dominant and pumping out insane damage numbers.
I think the main difference is that we're focusing a lot more on taking fights and fighting through lines and controlling space. I think that's the main one. A lot of the games we've been controlling space leads to really easy late game fights. So I generally think the only thing that we're doing different is just really focusing on holding space and then taking the fights we want to take instead of being forced into take particular fights.
Yeah. On your stream that you actually had a couple of days ago, looking over a couple of the rounds from the qualifiers to this point, you had mentioned that the rest of the team didn't necessarily have the best mental ability to reset after a bad game. You were able to do that so successfully at the end of the qualifiers to advance to this point with those 3 wins in a row. But have you started to, you and the rest of the team, introduce some new things in order to keep yourselves in the right headspace? I'm sure being in the lead that you are right now certainly helps. But as far as this entire grand finals go, is there anything new that you're introducing to keep yourself in your winning ways?
Yeah, I think one of our main things is that we've changed is we don't talk about mistakes after the game. We try and let the whole day go past. We try to just finish the game. Everyone relaxes. No one talks about mistakes until either a VOD review after the games are finished or maybe the next day. So everyone just has some time to cool off and no one's going to say things they don't regret saying, basically.
Nice. Well, I'll pivot away from PUBG for a second and get to know you a little bit more. I can't help but notice the giant picture behind you. Do you get inspiration from Sylvester Stallone? Does he mean a lot to you?
Not really, to be honest. It's just kind of like something I had when I first started, which was like 2 years ago. So like I kind of just
it's a joke from earlier.
I've just left it up here, but it kind of adds some flavor to my room.
I like that flavor text. Well, speaking of flavor text, I got to let you give shout outs, call outs, anything you want to say to the people out there. This is your stage.
Yeah, shout out to E United. Obviously, they're an amazing org and support all of the team a lot. Also want to shout out to Rello. Made some amazing calls today. We didn't really get that fed, in my opinion. I think we had a few games where we had some good shifts, but Rello made some really good calls, especially that 18 kill win. That was all him. So big shout out to Rello. He's really underappreciated. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that he is a big factor in our success.
Awesome. I like that. I like taking the stage to give props to another player on your team. It shows a lot of maturity. Thanks so much for chatting with us, Flood. I'm going to probably talk to you or one of your guys again every day for the next 2 weeks. So have a good one, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much, guys. See you.
Bye.
It was a joke, not joke, because they
I
are
was
that
this
good.
close to asking them, but I figured it would have been toxic to be like, so what happened with you and Yahoo, and why do you hate them now? But like Cam, that was a good read. I'll be honest, I didn't catch that, but it's been a problem for Yahoo. So good to see the fact that now Yahoo should be in a better position overall as they finally manage to get the one up on a United.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about it, but at the match leaderboard at the end, they actually had 10 full kills that round, so it might have taken them a little bit to ramp up, but I feel like them and Sonics are going to start to give E United a little bit more of a challenge as we go into the rest of the weekend. Real quick, though, I do want to sort of bounce off of Flood's talking about Rello. It is true. Oftentimes we talk about Kickstart, we talk about Flood, we previously talked about Stakers, and he was the star of the show, and he's getting back into that ways, but Rello as well... It's been so amazing to see a player who came into the scene in around 2019 as like a star player of a roster, but then when he pivoted to Van Oath, now E United, he actually made the decision to go into an IGL, to go to more of a supportive mode, even though he was still like in his age-wise prime of being able to frag out, but he wanted to be able to help out his team in other ways, and he intentionally in a way, stepped out of the limelight in order to be able to find the success that him and the rest of his squad has been able to find. So absolutely want to give everyone on that squad the same props that we do everyone else.
Absolutely. Started out as a star, but he's essentially a king at the top of a dynasty that seems like they are set for a very long run. Guys, we have 5 more days of play. Before I sign out, though, you know I got to get final thoughts from these two. I want to know what you're reflecting on at the end of day 1 with 5 more to go. Cameron, why don't you start us off?
E United, the lead that they have, but also Flood talking about how they have better abilities to reset after the bad games that, I mean, hypothetically will come their way. We haven't seen any yet. So that's making it very scary. As strong as Sonics and Yahoo have really sort of picking themselves up to throughout the course of the day, it's definitely inside track for E United.
The way you got talking about like E United's mental, I'm just imagining them having like the Walkman on, listening to Running Up That Hill to keep themselves calm in a desperate situation time and time again. But I just gotta say thank you, Sonics, for getting a win, which is something I didn't expect that I would say at the start of this, because we need somebody to be chasing after E United. They're showing dominance, and if there's a squad on here that we know we can do it, it's gonna be you guys. But Trogloditas, you've proven that you can fight. I want more of it. I want to see how far you can climb.
Nice, I like that.
Also, 22 pixel rotation.
I expect Sonics to be chasing very, very soon. Guys, everyone at home watching, thank you so much for choosing to spend your Friday with us. We're going to be back tomorrow at the same bat time, at the same bat place, so make sure you're here for it. It's going to be awesome. On behalf of myself, Matchroom, Cameron, Godspeed, Porosaurus, Clover, everyone at Crafton, and everyone here at ESL, thank you so much for watching, and until we see you again, play more PUBG.